Here we are. We are here. We're live. Tornado Attack Podcast, episode 143. Sputnik Monroe.
Hey, said it right.
I nailed it.
Yeah, Sputnik. I wasn't sure if I was muted or unmuted. I have to get used to this mute switch. Okay, I was low. That's why I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to turn you down a little bit. You were coming in hot during the pre-show.
Oh.
Yeah. Sputnik Monroe. I'm coming in this one completely cold. I know nothing.
Yeah, me
Very, very interesting case study of one of the older people we've ever covered. A lot of what we're talking about happened in the late 50s and early 1960s.
What do you think the oldest topic we did was? Probably Bearcat?
Bearcat, right? Unless we didn't do any like turn of the century.
No.
Like we never did Luthez or Jim Londos, or this might be the oldest, yeah.
What's his name?
Farmer Burns.
Anthony Naraka.
Yeah, George Hackenschmidt.
Yeah.
Jim Barnett, maybe. Jim Barnett was
Oh, yeah?
around that. No, he was probably even he was like the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, he
Pat
was
Patterson
real
was
early,
60s, 70s.
40s.
I like it. I like how we dive in and we do the older stuff. So
How about we do Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah.
That's what we should have for
Abraham.
presidents.
We actually did. We talked to Abraham Lincoln and everybody on Truth Behind Illusion.
Did you talk about how he would wrestle?
No, we talked about how he hunted vampires.
vampires.
That's why we don't have
Okay, yeah.
vampires anymore,
Well,
because
made sense.
Abraham Lincoln hunted them all.
Makes sense.
God.
Yes, and
I heard
the
it's wild.
Snallygaster is dead because
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Good old
that
Teddy.
I buy.
That
we
I
don't,
buy.
and we
Yeah.
don't have chupacabras anymore because of Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because he built the wall so they can't
Yeah.
come over.
yeah, they can't come over. And which ones we did have, he caught them and put them in cages.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Separated them from their chupacabra family. And
yeah,
then put them in-
We had to separate the women from the children.
Yeah.
Chupacabra, because you don't want more chupacabras. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
You're
Or
going
when-
off
the
now.
chupacabra bit.
We'll go back to Teddy. Teddy is viable. I could think. I could believe that Teddy killed the Snallygaster. I could
Yeah.
do that.
On Murder My Dude once, we did an episode about presidents that were assassinated, and we brought up how Roosevelt got shot when he was running for president. After he was president twice, he ran again as part of the Bull Moose Party,
Yeah.
and somebody shot him, but he had his speech like folded up and it was in his pocket, and the paper stopped the bullet
Yeah.
from fully going
Some
through
good
him.
paper.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And he finished the speech. He's like, as you may know, earlier today, I was shot. Like, he's the toughest man in the world.
Yeah, what a gangster that guy
Well,
is.
he went through a lot of like things in his life that
Yeah.
made him that tough. Like he lost his wife and child in childbirth, and then his mother like the next day.
And
or
you went to the
something.
Badlands.
That's nuts.
Well, this isn't President's
No.
Yeah.
podcast.
If we ever do a president show, it's going to be about Jack Tunney.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my president.
He always is our president.
Yes.
So we're gonna cover all that. We're gonna get into some local news, I guess, and we'll
Yeah.
kinda, yeah, and then we'll cover. I might just fucking pop this chair out. I'm fucking so fat. I'm breaking chairs.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
The chair breaks out.
yeah, and then we're gonna cover what's going on in wrestling, which is a lot.
Yeah. Very exciting couple of weeks coming up for local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of stuff going on nationwide. A lot of people moving. A lot of new faces in new places, returning the places in one case. So yeah, so do you want to start local? Or do you want to start with the big picture here?
We'll start local, and we'll maybe give a tease of what we're gonna talk about next week on the
Yeah,
show.
perfect. Next week, we're going to be, for the first time ever, talking about a school. We talked about events. We talked about wrestlers. We talked about different things like that. We've never talked about a wrestling school. And it's quite fitting that it is going to be probably the first real mass market wrestling school.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it more next week when it's the topic. But yeah, we're going to be talking about just a few scant days before we're headed to the actual building. We're going to be talking about the world famous Monster Factory next week.
Yeah. World famous Monster Factory is the Facebook type name. If you tag it, I think.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
very excited to see that building.
Or
Yeah.
it's Monster Factory dash world famous.
CB.
Yeah. No, it's like LLC.
no, that's a different school.
Oh, different.
That's a different school. We've been there too.
We
That-
have
That was
that.
very fun.
That's a legendary building too.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody broke a squat rack and he might come back to fix it now.
Yeah.
He's going to
Yeah.
be available.
He'll be available to come back and fix that squat rack. You know what's crazy? I didn't realize how much of a insane place we were when we were there.
Oh, I did.
And then you were kind of
Yeah.
breaking it down from on the way up there, and I was like, "Oh, this is serious.
Yeah.
yeah, this is a big deal." Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, for a while, we're doing a mini episode about what's Cheeseburgers. It's called the Worldwide Dojo now, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
Worldwide Dojo.
And that is in that is in Bristol, Pennsylvania. But if you go the other side of Philly, you go closer to my neck of the woods, where it's actually right across the Delaware River from the airport is where the Monster Factory is. We should give the address, even though we're going to be doing a show about them next week. It's 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. We should give the address because on Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, March 5th, Outbreak Wrestling will be there for the night the bridge was crossed.
Mm-hmm.
But
We're gonna burn it.
No, you got to come back.
Oh, okay.
After we come back.
You want to stay in Jersey?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I don't want to stay in Jersey.
It's a long way to come up and over.
The good thing is you don't have to pump your own. Actually, it's not. Because it should be the night the bridges were crossed. Because there's two bridges you can kind of
George
pick.
Washington. What's the other one?
No, the George Washington's in New York.
No. Well, what's the
Ben
Down,
Franklin.
Ben Franklin? Okay.
no, you don't want the Ben Franklin Bridge coming from where we are.
Yeah.
Your choices are really going to be the Walt Whitman, which is closer to the stadiums and everything, and the Commodore Barry, which is in Delaware County.
Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah.
know my bridge names.
No.
And then the Ben Franklin Bridge is a little farther up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a really good time.
Oh yeah, totally. Just to run down some things that are going to be happening. They have a few title matches announced. A pretty full card now announced already. From what I gathered, I might have missed one or two here. You have for the tag team titles, the leaders of the new school are your defending champions Robbie Radke and Bad Banks, Travis Banks, against Filthy Philly, which is Philly Mike Swanson and Dirtbag Dan.
Which is the city itself.
Look,
I didn't even have to do
I
it.
know where you live. I live in the same town.
Yeah.
There's parts of that town.
There
He's
is,
gonna
yeah.
he's getting hurt here. He's getting real hurt. You got to be careful with him. He's sensitive.
No, I laid it in. We're driving the H2O, and we get in the Philly. He's like, look at all this dirt on the side. Yeah, we're definitely feeling now. I'm like, I've been to Mahanoy City. You stop right now.
Yeah, if anybody
You're
should
bad.
talk, is the Money. I love you, Tony, but Money City, no.
we make him tough in our town.
There is no good parts of Money.
Money
There's
City.
Good parts of Philly.
That's one thing my pap always said. Don't go to my city. Don't go to my city.
There's
That's trouble.
There's no South Street there.
There's
Where
a
all the
South Street.
hippies
I
live.
grew up on South
Is
Street.
there well, there's
Yeah.
no.
There's
Philly
no,
South Street.
There's no South Street with some delicious places to grab something to eat there. Like
Oh,
Ishka-
definitely not. No.
Like Ishka Bibbles, or you could go to
An Ishka what?
Ishka Bibbles.
Mhm.
That sounds racist.
I don't know. There's that fish place in Money City that's good. The seafood place.
There's not a seafood place in
Yes,
Money
there
City.
is.
I
There
forget-
is a seafood. The
I forget
seafood
what
guy.
I'm talking
and
about.
seafood
I'm
and steak
talking
or
about the good
something.
South Street.
Yeah.
There's a what's the new
Condom World.
the Foofy cheesesteak place? I think it's called like Woodrow's. Is there?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
And it stays on
John's Roast
South.
Pork. Yeah. Or not John's, Jim's.
There was a pro wrestling store last time I was there. That was a couple years ago.
There's also Zipperhead, which is not a place to eat, but it's like where people would always get like their piercings and things like that back in the day. It's in the song "Punk Rock Girl" by the Dead Milkmen.
And
Enough about South Street.
Yeah. Well, I want to before we get into the more of what we're going to talk about. I want to maybe cast an open invitation and see if he hears us before we actually send him a message.
Uh-huh.
Ryan Vox, if you want to join us next week, you can call in. The invitation has been put out. If you want to come in and talk about the school and the event,
Yeah, well,
The-
he would probably know more about the event.
the
Yeah,
door
I don't
is
think
open.
he's a historian on the school so much.
Well, I mean, he can maybe learn.
Yeah, but
he can come in and hang out and
promo
talk.
the event real good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So you can come in. This is your invitation, buddy. All right.
So you also have on that show, I have to bring that back up again, Matt Quay, who we know mainly from the Sanctuary. He had a big win over Tommy Vex at the last Outbreak show.
Kid's gonna be a star.
He's going to be going up against Nick Batee. You have Davey Bly versus Michelle with Dr. Carl Martin. I think there's some Monster Factory people
Yeah.
in that match. Two title matches from AAW, which is Atlantic All-Star Wrestling. You have their tag titles. 410 Massive is going against South Philly's Finest.
Mhm.
South Philly breaking into the Outbreak game.
Yeah.
They were on a show before. I forget which. It was at the Fieldhouse.
Fieldhouse, the field. They were at two Fieldhouse shows. They were at the one, like two of them in a row. But before this pandemic, they weren't really an Outbreaks team, and now since post
Spreading their
pandemic,
wings.
they're you see them more at Outbreak, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and somebody else we know more from PPW and even Camp Leapfrog is the AAW Women's Champion. That's JC Storm, and she'll be defending against Izzy McCoy.
Mhm.
I just said against like I was Canadian. I said against.
Against?
And
Again.
and then we have two other matches here. We have the Outbreak title match. which is going to be Ian Bush defending against Tyler Ash. And we saved the best for last.
Right.
Yeah.
Mac Mayhem against Andy Header.
Mhm.
It's gonna be an awesome
Yeah.
match. Mac is
I think he's local to the area.
yeah, he's a fun guy to watch.
Local to that area?
I
Okay.
think so, but I'm not sure. I know he's
Yeah,
somewhere
like
down that way. I
yeah,
could be wrong.
it's right over there. You sneeze and you're in Philly.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it's right over the bridge.
I am paying attention over here. If
Good
you're
boy.
watching video, I'm actually updating our. So if you're new and you're checking out what's going on the page, we're actually on YouTube and Instagram. And when you're listening to the audio for all the network, we're actually working on it. That's been a project that we're doing as of today. The episodes, instead of just being the logo that you see in the corner, we're actually making like graphics now. So like when you see this, is going to be a picture of
Very cool.
Sputnik, and it's going to be so our thumbnails are going to be more eye appealing, catchy. Like what's that? Who's that picture? And then
Yeah,
hopefully
'cause
it draws more people in.
You don't like, especially if you're on YouTube and every video has the same picture. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying something out for season 4, but the problem is we have to go back and we're going back to the beginning of season 4 and doing them.
Yeah. I mean, we have to.
If listen, the way my OCD is, if we start halfway through season 4, and we're not too far in, but it's done. We're caught up with Tornado. I just have to go through Facebook when this is done.
The other thing that's that weekend is that Friday night, the 4th.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary is back. 570 fights.
Yeah, back all
Friday.
weekend. You can hang out all weekend.
Yeah, Proving Ground we'll be in Jersey, but Proving Ground on Saturday. Are they doing like a canon show on Sunday?
I don't.
No
I
canon
don't
shows
know.
till
So
May.
just Friday
Yeah.
and Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. So Friday, the 4th of March. I don't know when bell time is, and it's usually around like 7:30.
Yeah.
But 570 fights, all local,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a fun show to be involved in. We were involved in the first 2 before it got too cold to run.
Yeah, I'll be there that Friday. I don't know if you're able to make it, but I will be there that Friday.
I should be. We'll talk about more off air, but I should be.
Yeah.
I would hope to.
I'm gonna try and
be
tag
involved
along
soon.
and take pictures again if
Cool.
nobody minds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think John's.
It's a fun time.
John likes us there, and he likes us getting our reps in.
Absolutely, yeah. The first two ones they did. Tony and I were the voice of 570 fights. Andy participated in both in the ring. So fun
actually,
time.
it's not like a huge announcement, but if you watch the show back, the Outbreak show this week, I'll be calling some action at the Monster Factory.
Oh, cool.
Very, very pumped to have my voice like calling action in two schools in 2 years, which is pretty dope. But yeah.
So if you don't get enough wrestling between the Sanctuary on Friday and Outbreak on Saturday, the Saturday after that, PPW was back.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
What we also have
Roses.
to remember is AEW Revolution that
Yeah,
Sunday.
that's
So it's
Sunday.
a
wow.
wrestling
Big
weekend all the
wrestling
way
weekend, yeah.
around.
Oh, the Sunday after PPW.
no, Sunday after Outbreak.
After
So the
Outbreak.
4th is
Really?
Sanctuary,
Yeah.
the 5th is Outbreak, the 6th is AEW
How
Revolution.
about that?
We'll probably have
I know that.
we could probably get to have a little get together here and hang out, watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
How about that?
Be a good time.
That'd be fun.
I'll chip in, help you chip in for the pay-per-view.
Sure. Usually when people chip in for the pay per view, I put that towards food.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm buying the pay per view anyway, so it goes towards food or drink or whatever.
I can get a
Yeah.
grab his pizzas or something.
That works for me. So we'll watch that. We want to thank real quick our Patreon people. So we do have a bunch of different tiers, $1 to 25, or you can put whatever you want. If you're Puff Daddy and you got the funds, go for it. You know,
Puff Daddy or P Diddy?
I'm a '90s kid,
Remember
so
he
he's
was
always
Brother
Puff.
Love
Daddy.
for a second?
Yeah.
He was Brother Love.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But
That's one of the lesser known ones.
it helps pay the bills. It keeps our website going. It keeps StreamYard going. It helps us with our editing apps, all that great stuff. So anyone who donates is a huge, huge help. We do have at the end of this month, the Colster is a giveaway. So if you want this one-of-one Bangin' Beers Colster, sign up now before the end of the month. Any tier will get you in the runnings for that. We do have a thing going on. Anyone who donates over $10 is in the runnings every month for a free T-shirt. And I swear to Christ, it's not rigged. You can see the video. I took a video of me doing a virtual wheel.
Oh yeah, my comic book store did that.
Yeah, so it's on the Patreon for people who subscribe. And the winner was Ryan Vox. Ryan Vox.
Somebody got to win.
Well, listen, I'm just very thankful that a guy who runs a local promotion here not only listens to our show, enjoys our show, but helps pay for the behind the scenes
Yeah.
stuff on the Patreon.
Look who won the pony.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that truly means the world to us. I know with right now the way this world is and people are scrounging for money and they're hurting. Anyone who's willing to throw a couple bucks to say, I love your show enough that I want to throw you a couple dollars to support that means the absolute
Or if
fucking
you
world
want to give
does.
money and insult us, you give
Yeah.
us money. Don't
Yeah, you can be like, here's money. I
Yeah.
hate you.
Just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But we want to thank Ryan Vox, David S., Brett Squared, Bridget M, Andrew H, Greg R, Heidi B, R, Ryan G from the Fuel by Hops podcast, Kelly, Crystal Mountain Healing, Tommy B, Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop, Brad Z, Higher Than Other Words podcast, and JH. So thank you all so much. If you are someone who's on the Patreon, please, we're always looking for topics too. One of the tiers is you can message us and be like, I want you to do this topic, and we move yours to the front of the line.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of the things too. So if you want a certain topic, we do also take suggestions from the chat. If no one's suggesting stuff in the Patreon, we listen to the chat and we put those in as well. But if you want to kind of get them in quicker, you can go through the Patreon.
The ones in the chat kind of like whenever we get around to it.
Yeah.
If you want to hear about Spaceman Frank Hickey, go ahead and pony up the money.
Yeah, pony it up. But all right, let's get into some current news.
Real quick, we did mention PPW will be the following Saturday, the 12th, and they did announce 3 matches so far. Pretty good ones too, Al.
Yes,
3 of them.
Yes.
It's going to be a more women-centric show than PPW standard fare, and one of the big matches they've announced was, I think the first match they announced was the women's title match. Danny Moe defending against fresh back from NXT, Taya Valkyrie.
Love that.
Former Impact Women's Champion, former AAA Ray DeRenas, and formerly Frankie Monet.
Her and Athena been getting a lot of matches on the indie scene.
Yes, they have.
And some of them are actually, 1 or 2 of them were together. They worked each other.
Yeah, yes. I think they might have wrestled. There was a big indie show in like Portland, I think. And I think they may have wrestled each other on that show.
Mhm.
Ty Valkyrie has been in PPW before.
Yes.
She has. She's actually wrestled at PPW before. We got to talk to her.
Speaking of people coming back to PPW, Action Andretti has drawn Mike Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a great match.
That will be very good. Mike Bennett also doing a seminar before the show from 1 to 3 for people who are more inside the ring. And Mike Bennett, of course, accompanied by Maria Kanellis Bennett. And then for the PPW title, the big one, Davey Richards against Bro Keller for the PPW.
Will
title.
this be the end of Bro Keller's run?
Could be.
Oh boy.
Is it a cash in? They didn't say it was. So is it just a shot because it's Davey's time, or is
I'm
it
not
is he
sure.
cashing
Yeah.
in?
Who knows?
He loses and cashes and wins right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Tell you what, I love Bro Keller. He's a great champion. He's been doing great things. David Richards is no joke.
What a contrast too, because you have Bro, who's all energy. That's his nickname.
Yeah.
And he's very and that's Bro. Bro is very upbeat. Whether it's in the ring or behind the scenes, Bro is a very upbeat guy.
He has fabulous hair.
He does.
Mhm.
Fabulous
He does.
flow.
Just a fun guy to be around. And Davey's not that Davey's not a fun guy to be around. He's just very, very serious, very professional, very businesslike.
Mhm.
You want to see Davey smiling at you, and if he's not, you're like, you're fearing for your life.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, that'll be just an interesting dynamic outside the ring and in the ring, where Davey's a little more of a technician, a little bit more methodical, where Bro does have that high energy, high impact, high flying.
And Davey Richards coming off a loss.
Yeah. He coming off a loss to Killer Cross.
I've seen he's wrestling somebody else in another show.
He's wrestling.
Getting a lot of work out there.
He was on that big show I was mentioning in Oregon. He wrestled like a big name, like Malachi Black or somebody.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
Actually, I think it was Malachi Black. Yeah.
Hmm.
What a fucking fantastic talent. Such a nice guy too.
Yes, that's only 3 matches now. So
Yeah, and we'll do a
there'll be
full
more.
rundown of that card once it gets a little closer.
Well, once it gets announced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it gets announced.
Once they figure it out, dude.
Yeah.
One of the I was talking before we went on the air about a Ring of Honor show I went to in Jersey, and one of the matches on that show was Davey Richards against Kenta.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh.
Very,
I
very
think I
good.
think I might have seen that in video.
Yeah, it was at the
Ice hockey,
ice
not the
hockey rink
yeah.
in
I forget what-
Edison, New
Edison,
Jersey.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into, I guess, the biggest news since
No,
There's a
last.
lot of biggest news.
There's a lot
What the breaking news?
I would say
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
biggest. The biggest.
Oh, you wanna
Which
do that
one we
first?
consider the biggest?
Yeah.
Cody?
Cody.
Cody, yeah.
Cody.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it last week because we had Alex and Johnny on the show. But yeah, Cody Rhodes is gone from AEW.
Or is he, chat? You let us know. Do you think it's a work?
It's a work? Yeah.
think it's real?
I think it's starting to fade that it's a work
Yeah.
now for me.
Yeah. The longer he doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: a work is when you're trying to get people to believe something that's not happening, but then there's a payoff. What would the payoff be?
The payoff would be that,
I left. Now I'm back.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
the-
not.
It's the Vince Russo, oh, we're just going to make the internet,
Yeah.
fool the internet.
It's
That's
a
called
swerve,
a
bro.
So I I respect Cody.
So it's not a work, then it's a swerve.
Yeah, yeah. 'cause
I
there's-
respect Cody,
there's no
Swerve
payoff.
might be going to
I like
AEW
Cody.
eventually.
but there's rumors that Cody may have a little bit of an ego. You know, that's all rumor though.
I think you can see that.
Yeah.
But if Cody was like, man, MJF's getting this attention because he's teasing that when his contract's up, maybe he'll shop at higher ground,
Yeah.
and it's working for him. And I think Cody's grasping at Shawzy as something to work for him. Or if I leave, like, will this make me even more of a heel? Like, so that's where I was at first. I was like, is this real?
Not,
is he
not
really
for
doing
nothing,
this?
Not for nothing in 2024 when that deal is up, they're going to throw so much money at that kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
They are going to throw so much money
He
at
is.
MJF.
He
We're
is
gonna turn back to
gold.
MJF in a little bit here with Tough because that's something I want to talk about. But is it smart? Is it a smart move? Money wise, sure.
I don't know if it was all money. I think it was more of an ego, and he wanted to book more
I think-
matches.
But if he wants to book
But,
more
yeah.
matches, he ain't getting
If
that.
you want creative,
No.
if you want creative control, WWE is not the place for you unless
Yeah.
your name's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Roman can get away with like
Yeah.
calling his shots a little bit.
That don't work for me, brother.
Yeah,
But-
he wanted more of a stake in the company, I think, too. He wanted more.
he
of
doesn't
a-
have any stake. Like
Yeah.
the Khans own that company,
right,
But the thing is where he
He wanted
was,
more.
he was in a bitter position. Unless WWE is offering him more money a year, everything else he really wants, he's in a better position to get in
Mhm.
AEW than he will ever be at
He'll
WWE.
never get in WWE because you're never
No.
getting that Triple H spot. No one's getting that.
Yeah.
no.
You know, and
And I mean,
How
like,
do you think he feels walking back in there after breaking the throne and all the things he's said?
Triple H isn't really around though. Like
Yeah.
Triple H is at home.
yeah.
Triple
It's-
H. There's a lot of people seem to think that cardiac issue that Triple H had a few months ago
Is it?
far worse than anybody is letting
oh,
on.
okay, yeah.
And that
It's a
he
shame.
that's
We-
one of
I
the
hope
reasons he
not.
hasn't been involved with anything is
We
because they
did
don't
talk
want
to
him
a few people that were former NXT people, and they even said like Triple H it wasn't good,
Yeah.
and it was very scary.
Yeah.
It was yeah, and like I said, and kind of once it happened, it was kind of the floodgates like okay, he's not in the picture, let's get rid of all of us guys.
Yep. Fire all those people.
Yep.
So,
And did you notice, like on Dynamite a little bit, William Regal's name kind of dropped by
Yeah.
Brian
I didn't
Danielson,
notice
yeah.
that.
they
No.
said Regal, yeah.
Mhm. Oh, they would be a
I-
fool to not.
Wait
be
a
And
there.
second.
then Jericho said that when you wrestled that guy, well, what's his name? 'Cause he didn't say
What
Cody.
if we get that stable, right? Daniel Bryan and
Oh, okay.
and Moxley make that stable.
Yeah.
What a great headpiece for that would be
Regal.
Regal.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Cody. I was
Oh,
like, oh, God,
man.
no.
Regal
God,
comes
no.
out and he's
Oh,
the
he's like
he's the
the-
mass. He's like the
Yes.
Tully of their group.
Yeah,
No,
like the
yeah, because him
Godfather.
and Mox had a thing going on in NXT when Mox was in NXT too.
How
Yeah.
fucking dope would
Gotta-
that stable
big-
be? And then you
Mhm.
throw Garcia and Wheeler Yuta in there. Wheeler Yuta.
No,
Oh.
if you're in Massachusetts, it's Wheeler Uter.
Yeah,
He,
Yuta.
he needs a new name. That name gotta go.
I like it, but
I don't.
uh,
Look at how you struggle with it.
I just-
it's a hard name to say.
my dyslexia kicks in sometimes.
it's a hard
but,
name for people that have no dyslexia. To say.
But let's get back to Cody. So Cody,
Some of the wild rumors, I like them. He's gonna buy ROH and run that.
or he's gonna start WCW with Shane McMahon.
Which he can't. Yeah,
Well,
him and
yeah.
Shane.
Yeah, Shane McMahon's really owns WCW, and they're going to start it. Yeah,
He ain't going to New Japan. That's not happening. And why would he go to Impact?
So maybe he's gonna go in with EC3 and what's
Yeah,
the
the
other
control
one?
your narrative.
or
Braun.
the rumor is that what's his name and Conrad and all them are making a
Yeah,
promotion.
Jarrett,
Jeff
Conrad
Jarrett,
Thompson,
Eric
yeah.
Bischoff.
Yeah.
So
So I
who
don't know.
knows? Because Conrad's tight with.
Yeah, but the thing with that is, if Cody's thing is he wants creative control, the only way you're going to have full creative control is if you're the one cutting the check.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're going to be in the thing with Jeff Jarrett and Conrad, then Jeff Jarrett's probably going to be doing the creative.
Yeah.
And bro, he might be coming back too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I
And
don't even know.
Cody
if we wanna-
NWA. He might do a little bit in the NWA, but he ain't gonna stay there for long.
I would buy Cody buying the NWA
Yeah,
more
I
than
could
I
see
would buy
that.
Cody buying Ring of Honor.
He's walking away from possibly what between him and his wife 3 TV shows.
Yeah.
They gave her a cooking
Well,
show. He had
Well,
his-
that
She's
wasn't a real
keeping
TV
she
Yeah, Cooking
She-
Show wasn't on.
That was
she's
a- like a
keeping
YouTube
that.
show.
That was
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
She's keeping that.
Well,
She
yeah.
came out and said that.
Well, that's YouTube. So,
Yeah.
But I
well,
mean,
she's gonna have to be the one to pay for it now with no job.
I don't think they paid for it. I think it was just like her.
I'm saying that she was getting a paycheck.
Production.
and
Oh,
It's a
oh,
cooking
oh.
show. How much of a budget do they have?
Yeah.
People are. It's not like here where we do all the work ourselves and edit. You think she's gonna sit in a room and fucking edit her own cooking show?
I think they're famous enough that they can get college kids come in and do it for free.
Yeah.
That's very true. Can we get some of those? Hey, college kids, you want to come in and edit some fucking wrestling videos?
Well, the Go Big Show, and then
Go Big Show.
Rose
and
to the
Top.
Which they
Rose
said
to the
was
Top.
canceled anyway because it was awful.
I don't know if it was seriously canceled.
It was picked up for season 2.
Yeah,
Was
it was
it?
picked
Oh, I thought it
up,
was
and now they're and it was actually filming. So now they don't know what they want to do with the
And
footage. They
who's
don't know
it-
if they're just going to scrap it all, or are they going to show half of it, or what they're going to do. They don't know.
Yeah, I would probably say it's probably dumb.
Do you
I'd
think?
say
Do you think
scrap it,
the
dump it now.
rumors of Cody and maybe the Elite not seeing eye to eye, and
Oh, yeah.
you think
Yeah,
that had a lot to do with it?
And I think that a lot. I don't think he wanted. I think he wanted to be his dad, and he wanted to be the big baby face, and they didn't want him to.
And
Yep.
the Bucks put a tweet out immediately after because everyone was doing the thank you Cody, thank you
Mhm.
Cody, and then the Bucks put out one like thank us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
which,
us.
which is funny. But yeah,
Listen, and listen, I don't want to draw
Or
that line in the
was it thank
sand.
us, or was it thank God for us?
Thank God for
For
us
us.
is what it said.
Yeah,
But like you see
it was a total
you
poke.
see posts for Amanda Hubert of like, listen, like the day after Brody died, like Christmas Eve, Cody was the first one there with Brandy and Big E at the house.
yeah.
Like they walked away from their Christmas dinner and their families to be with Brody Jr.
And that's nice, but that has nothing to do with AEW.
Right.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
Cody's a good human.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah,
does
so
he
nice.
does so much for a lot of people, and he helped a lot of like he did put people over like in the company. He did a lot of
Yeah.
good things.
Mhm.
Like
It
I don't.
just- a lot of stuff was it was too much.
Yeah,
That's why it was just
Yeah,
too much.
And it's not like he's never going to see his friends again. It's not like
Yeah.
he's never going to see Amanda Huber again. Like Big E was there. Big E works for WWE. He was there because he was Brody's
Yeah.
friend.
I just wanted to put that stuff out there because I don't want it to be like we're shitting on Cody.
No, we're not shitting
he,
on Cody at
he
all.
made a business decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of it is he felt like he was losing a grip there, it seems like, and he was losing power and he was losing creative control over his own stuff. But then also, I wouldn't discount the idea that maybe he sees that there are guys who he might be on the same level as. Like, he's not going to come in and be Roman Reigns or Brock. He could come in and get a Kevin Owens push. He could come in and get an AJ Styles push. Maybe he saw Kevin Steen got $2 million a year.
Maybe you got a little-
AJ got $3 million a year. Okay, Vince, I'm open for
Well,
business.
what was his original contract for? Was that ever out there?
Who?
Cody's.
Like what he was making
No,
with Stardust.
No,
Oh, you mean in
no,
AEW?
in AEW. Yeah.
no, they don't.
They never-
They never talk.
Yeah, they usually never
they never
release.
talk money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless
With-
the guy says when he's
With certain things, and I don't know about the talent salaries in WWE or contracts. I don't know about the talent, but certain things in WWE as far as profits and what they make on deals and things have to be disclosed because they're a publicly traded company
Okay.
where AEW is private and they don't have to reveal anything about their books if
All
they don't
right.
want
So
to.
that's why you hear they're getting so much in WWE, but not in AEW.
Yeah.
That
I'm sure
and
some people are
people
like
talk.
Punk's getting paid good.
Yeah.
Danielson, Moxley.
Like, but I would be surprised if anybody besides maybe CM Punk is getting 7 figures.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone's getting Kevin Owens money?
No.
Maybe Punk? I don't know.
Yeah, and the millions of Punk and Danielson. That's probably about it.
Yeah.
But like for a lot of the guys who are on indie level, you get all of a sudden 125 grand.
Now
a year.
you may not be getting.
Oh my god.
You
Yeah.
might not be
Yeah.
getting the $3 million that Kevin's getting a year, but you can also go out and do signings. And
Yeah,
get,
do
like,
what and no
all
one's gonna say, yeah.
like you can
Right.
you can hawk your merch and that's your
Right.
money. Like we're
And your
WWE.
Twitch channels.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
have
you
all
can
that
do-
that.
if you want.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can-
Is the merch their money? Because isn't a lot of their merch through Shop AEW? I don't know. If they might get a cut.
ProWrestling.com, Yeah.
Yeah.
They might get a cut. Like WWE people, you get a cut of your money. You get a
Yeah,
cut of your
I
merch.
believe they get a cut too, but maybe the cut's bigger because Pro
Yeah, I don't
Wrestling
know.
Tees
I
is
don't
like,
know.
we'll do it for you and we'll take the. It's like to Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember hearing that the wrestling like the t-shirts for WWE, they get like peanuts for basically.
They don't get a lot for
They
that.
said, always
get
said
much.
the video game is the big payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, the video game, especially for people who are lower on the card, who maybe they didn't even get a T-shirt, like somebody I'm trying to think
Apollo
of
Crews.
Apollo Crews. Like, how many T-shirts does Apollo Crews? Doesn't even have a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But he's in the video game and he's going to get a nice.
Oh, he has a shirt, but it's not the greatest.
Okay, and probably not a lot of people are buying it. He's
Yeah.
lower on the card and he's a heel.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in that video game and he's not going to get as much as like Ray, who's on the cover, or somebody who's like a bigger part of the game, but he's going to get a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, it's like residuals for a movie.
Yeah.
And the guys that aren't in the company are still going to get money for
Yeah.
it because they're
That's if they put them in the game because there's some.
yeah.
they're-
They said they're not taking anyone out.
I don't
'cause
believe
it's
them.
too much.
Because we've talked to someone who
well, it's
was
not
who was scanned
Yeah.
who was scanned for the game, and he was already told he will not be in it.
Oh, that scan is a lot different than your
In the
character's
game,
done
yeah.
and completed.
That he was done. His character was scanned,
That's-
done, and completed.
Well,
he did
see,
all.
That's different than
He did
scan.
all the
which
mocaps.
one
He
was
did
it?
everything. He was he
Hey.
was done for the game, and he said his character will not
Most
be. in it.
wrestlers don't do their own mocap.
Yeah.
He did his own mocap. We were talking about.
Usually they hire two people. To do that.
Back in the day, Cole Cabana used to always do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one time it was Samoa Joe.
hmm
So He might be telling you some wrestler tales.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
not
If he- if
everything
he's-
a wrestler tells you is true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold my who it is until the game comes out,
that's fine.
but
Yeah.
we'll see if
Just
he's in the game.
watch out, because sometimes
Yeah.
or they tell you a story.
Because I said I even asked him. I said
it gets a little
That's
bit
with
bigger.
anybody. Though.
I even asked him like, "Were you going to be in the game?" And he
Yeah.
goes,
Rest
"There's a
failed.
huge handful of us that were
'Cause-
already told."
they announced the GM mode. Shane and Regular are still in it.
Well, Shane and Regal are a little different. Where if the guy's like a 72
Cross?
overall,
He's still in it.
is he really?
Yep.
He's already really
Keith Lee,
announced.
still in it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That maybe this person is in the game, but he was told he was told this character will not be. So we'll see how it goes.
Maybe his character was never going to be in to begin with.
I think he would have been. He
Then
definitely
why
he
go
definitely
through
would
all
have
that
been.
trouble.
He definitely would have been in there because he
He might
right
be
when this
telling some wrestler tale.
Wrestling
he would have
tales.
definitely been in because he
Wrestler
was a
tales.
champion
Oh,
right before he
okay.
got cut.
I'm just saying, sold out, hanging from the rafters. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he wasn't someone who came across as like he was bullshitting.
He may also have heard one thing. And they
Yeah,
wanted to put it
and
out
listen,
there,
it's all
yeah.
could be third party where
It
he was
could be,
told
it
and
could
then
be.
now he is, but we'll see.
Just like them guys, they said I was going to be champion. It's like they might have said they could see you as a champion, not
Yeah.
that you were going to be the champion. So I mean, you never know. But
Yeah.
they said that it's too much money since the game's done to go back and take the people out because they got rid of a lot of people.
Yeah, it'd be. I feel like just that's a fucking delete button.
You would think,
yeah,
then you have to go out and remove everything, like, and then the programming for, like, oh, let's say Keith Lee comes up in your feud on the year.
yeah,
Well, now you got to get rid of that.
yeah.
So now I mean, it takes time, and then
I agree. Yeah, we'll see. I hope these people are still in it. It'd be fun.
plus if they take everyone out they released, it's not going to be many people in the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
It's
true.
about
too.
30 people.
This should be the Future Endeavor DLC.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you just got all the fire
The
people.
DLC for fucking AEW's game is going to be crazy because they definitely have to keep adding to that. They
Yeah.
keep signing fucking people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Take Cody out. Well, I mean, their game's so early in development, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
How many
actually,
years? This is years now.
they said
though.
it's closer than you think.
Yeah.
It would be, well, the company's only been around for 3 years, probably 2. I don't know, a year and a half or 2.5.
They said it's further along than you think it would be.
I hope so, but
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's the Cody news.
Yeah, and then the big news earlier today, was that Cesaro is no more.
yeah.
I hope.
Audio, baby.
What if you?
Hey.
What do you think PPW brings him in? You get to
That'd be
reunite
great.
with your
Yeah.
old trainee,
Yeah.
your trainer,
Hey, my God.
trainer.
Yeah.
That's a feather in Andy's hat.
Yeah.
Training.
It is. We only have one match.
You only worked him in one match.
Well, in front of people.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was in Pine Grove when Andy has a video which Claudio's walking down the street flexing and
How-
by.
How was it working with him?
Oh, great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How far out of training were you with him when you worked him?
A couple of years.
A couple
Yeah,
years. Did he have any words or like? Hey,
No,
you did
not
good?
really. He was just about when he was about to sign with WWE,
Mhm.
so he didn't want to do a whole lot, obviously because you don't want.
You
Yeah.
I
don't
heard
wanna
at
get
random
hurt.
indie if you're getting assigned a big contract, you get a bunch of money. But no, he's really cool. So
What if you'll probably not
Sarah
be able
was
to?
there
You'll
too,
probably
so-
not be able to work against him one on one at PPW because
Yeah.
they like to usually put people in multi-man matches. But how cool would it be to tag with him?
yeah, anything really.
Yeah,
Claudio's so good and
it'd
he's
be
so
fucking-
strong.
It'd be
so
fun.
It's
I'm
nice to
glad
know.
he's-
Yeah.
Gonna be used.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, and it seems like
he-
everything is positive. People are like, yeah, now we're gonna see him wrestle.
Yeah.
How crazy is
And not
that?
see him. Yeah. And not see him lose to Happy Corbin like that
Ugh.
night at the bar.
So he did not get released.
Nope.
He let his contract expire.
They said they tried to negotiate and they couldn't work a deal out.
Mhm.
So
and
he
he's up,
can
so
show up.
tomorrow. He can show up tomorrow.
He
Somewhere.
can show up. He can be
no,
at.
he has a 90-day compete.
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
not,
Doesn't he?
not when your
let-
contract ends. That's
Oh.
when you get cut.
Yeah. If
Oh.
you get
Yeah.
fired or cut, you have 90 days
Well, I
after
thought
that.
Moxley let his end go out too, and he had a 90-day complete.
Nope.
No, he
No,
didn't.
he didn't have a non-compete.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
He showed up like a
Because he
week
had
later.
that promo where he was
But
crossing.
that was
counting
just
down the
him. That was
names.
just him saying. That was just him counting down the days till his contract ended.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he could have showed up. There was nowhere really to show up to because he showed up on the first AEW
Yeah.
show.
The Double or Nothing. Right.
Yeah, that was like their first show ever. So there wasn't really anything for him to show up at because he wasn't going to show up for like unless we do like CZW or
Yeah.
something. But but no, I think the whole counting it people and Danhausen when he did his thing, he even made like a joke about it where it became like and Moxley was the first one. The people who would always talk about just doing that thing with getting out of WWE is getting out of prison.
Yeah.
So it's him counting down the days until his contract's up and then he's free.
Yeah.
And the guy who shot that video was an old CZW wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sputnik Monroe did the videography for that.
Nice.
So Claudio, AEW got to sign him.
Yeah,
and
it's
unless
a
New Japan does,
no-brainer.
but I think he's gonna do both.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy pretty much did an interview, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to AEW."
Oh, yeah, I mean,
He's like not even
it's like
hiding it.
Worst kept secret.
He's like,
Yeah.
"I'm going there."
Hopefully, help Matt out.
Man,
Get rid of
if
that
I'm
fucking
AEW, I
stable.
start putting the fucking spin out there now for Matt, because it just seems like they just have him in this weird spot where like you got to figure something out to get him out of this
Well,
stable.
yeah, he's going slowly nuts.
Yeah.
Just notice that.
Yeah.
Doing the delete thing.
He's
with
breaking.
the thing in front of what's his name? Face Mark Sterling. He's
Mhm.
Yeah.
the Hardy Boys symbol. So it's
Well,
They
like,
they
did
did-
that during a commercial.
They did it during
Yeah.
a commercial break, so
He
it kind of
left.
just looks silly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he didn't leave. He just went to the other side of
Yeah.
the ring, and then he
They said he was
quiet.
doing delete chant last night. Delete mannerism. So
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah. AEW is going to be a little more subtle than a lot of places that would just beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
In the very beginning.
But I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hardy Boys coming.
I think
Yeah.
it's was it March 9th or 5th or something like that. That's
Yeah.
when his 90-day thing's up. So.
I know.
That's close to Revolution.
Yeah.
I know. The 9th will be a little after. It'll be around the Dynamite after Revolution. The 6th is Sunday.
Okay.
So the 9th might be that Wednesday.
Yeah, unless they have
you're
a
right,
date in North
it's-
Carolina, then maybe
Yeah.
just hold off a little bit,
Like,
2 weeks or something.
a
Have
lot-
Matt slowly go nuts.
This is why a lot of people are saying that Cody might debut on the March 14th Raw because it's in Jacksonville.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Jacksonville, so that might be when Cody shows up on Raw.
So does he have any claim to fame there with the Nightmare Factory yet or not? Did he
No,
sign that?
it's in Georgia, I think.
Yeah, but is that
That's still all his.
strictly-
well, no, all that stuff is
is-
AW stuff.
That's
Oh, really?
AEW?
Yeah. So
And it's QT Marshall's, I guess.
Yeah,
He's the head
'cause it's-
trainer.
that was just the name
Yeah.
of it.
Right.
Before QT Marshall.
But his name and his symbol and everything was
I'm
all
sure
over it.
Get rid of the symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they leave too.
I heard everyone w's a student there has to get it tattooed on their neck.
Oh God.
How long until I saw Brian Last on Jim Cornette's podcast said, how long until Vince puts Cody in a turtleneck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he has to wear
Yeah.
the neck brace like
Yeah.
Joe Gertner.
Jim had a 45-minute clip on YouTube of it, and I listened to all of
He's
it.
great.
It's like he's great. Yeah. How
And
long
let
until
me tell you,
he's-
Jim's right
that's
about the Sprite Zero. It is pretty good.
You guys are marked.
And you are not the only one apparently that didn't know
Wait,
Sensei Kreese.
oh,
Yeah,
Jim didn't know it either.
either.
I'm like, come on. And he's
I
trying to
never
say
watched the
that's not a
movies.
popular show. I'm like, yes, Jim, it is.
Brian's looking it up. Like,
Or Brian, he's
who the
trying to
hell
like,
is this old guy?
who the hell is this old guy? I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Other news.
by the way, real quick, before the Nightmare Factory, QT Marshall, you know where he was a trainer before that? The
No.
Monster Factory.
Oh, really? Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Well, you did know that. You
He
did tell
did,
me
he
that.
did have a run in ROH for a little bit.
Yeah, him, Danny Cage is the owner there, I believe.
Yeah.
Bill Wiles was a former ECW guy, Blue Meanie. They were all trainers of the Monster Factory.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to kind of touch on AEW wise is
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy.
yeah, Bertie Murphy showed up,
Murphy,
which
yeah.
is cool.
A big rumor that a few people might be showing up soon. Swerve, Shane Strickland, formerly
Yeah.
Isaiah Scott,
That's a
yeah.
good pickup.
and
That's good.
yeah, him and that whole group. I think they're called like the Hitmakers now instead of
Yeah.
Hit Row. They're going to be at GCW on WrestleMania weekend. They do a thing called For the Culture, which is showcasing black wrestlers,
Mhm.
and they're going to be involved with that. And then there's a rumor that Rohit Raju from Impact is going to be showing up in AEW soon.
Mm.
He did a few dark matches. And on the other side of it, Roxy, she was when they did that big tournament for the first ROH Women's World Champion, she's a 21-year-old that won it
Yeah.
and since has lost the title to Deonna Purrazzo. She is apparently signing with WWE.
Yeah. Tony Khan says a big announcement's coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for the financial or
They're
the
waiting for the ink to
paperwork
dry,
and,
yep.
and the ink to dry. What speculations?
The rumor is a super show with AEW, New Japan, and maybe Impact.
So
maybe in the Garden. I can see that.
I
Yeah.
think it's more than just a one-off show.
Yep, I think so too.
Oh, I would,
A formal partnership with New Japan would be huge.
I think
see
that's what we're
that.
gonna look
I
at.
think
I think
that's
you're gonna
what's
see a
coming.
three-way partnership.
I don't know if Impact.
the other thing is, what do you gain? Nothing against Impact, but if you're New Japan, or
What you
AEW,
gain is
what do you gain?
what's the biggest thing that you need right now in most businesses? Movies, television,
Money.
well, money, but what's a great way to generate that?
More ads, more sponsorships.
I don't know.
Subscriptions
Yep.
and an app. People pay. Xbox is making hand over
I was just
fist
gonna
on a
say,
subscription thing.
AEW will make their own app before
Yeah.
they take Impact.
But
Yeah.
and New
how
Japan has their own.
how much would it be like crucial for them if they
Uh-huh.
can put all their libraries in one place and charge us a fee for like and like split it up a
I
certain
mean, that'd
way?
be nice.
Yeah,
but
if you had a whole overarching streaming service where like maybe AEW gets 50% New Japan or 60% New Japan gets
like the
20%, and Impact gets 10.
yeah, like
and
Pro
they-
Wrestling Network, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they make their own network with all 3 brands.
they would
Yeah.
create it, but you don't need Impact for that. I mean, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing against them, but
They have a great library.
Yeah,
you don't need it.
but they have backlog.
If AEW made a network today, with
Yeah,
just the pay-per-views, people would buy it.
I agree.
Before
But you would also finish it within a
they
year.
need the
As
videos.
far
They
as
don't-
the-
yeah,
They need
but
the
you would get-
library.
you
they,
get the
they,
new
don't, they
shows.
don't. Before AEW even started, Anthem went to Tony Khan when they heard that he was starting a promotion. Like, do you want to buy Impact? He said no.
So he doesn't have to buy them if they do a partnership.
Right.
Well, no,
He doesn't need them. They
Yeah,
don't need
that's the other
Impact.
thing. It's like you
Yeah.
don't-
Impact is fun. I enjoy it. They don't need Impact.
yeah, New Japan. I mean, they have their own. They go back 1972.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe ROH is part of this deal somehow.
I think ROH will be its.
RH is going to think do their own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
will
They,
run
they
more-
seem to be working more with Impact, which is
and again,
makes more sense because they're on about the same level.
and what does AEW gain from ROH? They'd have no wrestlers right now.
The library would be the only
The
thing.
library's
Library.
it,
Library.
but then I just buy that straight out.
Yeah, you can just buy a library for people. Like
Yeah.
ROH was also for sale. There was talk that WWE was going to buy them.
Yeah.
And if Tony Khan wanted to buy these companies, he would have bought them already.
But I don't know. I think that'd be a cool deal. I definitely think it's a super show with all 3 of them. But I'd be really cool to see a
I
partnership.
think there's a little more to it too.
Yeah,
Because if they say like, "Oh, Rampage will be 2 hours,"
because
that's
they're
not that
definitely
big of
teasing
a
at more crossover stuff coming in the future, especially with the club and the Bullet Club and fucking.
It seems to be more just New Japan AEW now.
Yeah.
But Jay White's been showing up a lot, and,
Okay, it's New Japan.
but I know, but he's
Yeah.
been on. He pretty much turned on Tongas.
Yeah.
And then pretty much made a tweet like, "Hey Bucks, we'll see you soon." Like trying to bring them back into the
Yeah,
fold.
But I mean,
It's be a lot of fun stuff, man.
that doesn't happen in AEW. That didn't in AEW. That didn't happen.
I disagree. I think it did.
They didn't talk about it.
They didn't, but I think it's something you're going to see cross down the path again or down the road again.
I don't. I know you like Impact, but I don't.
Yeah,
They already did the Impact thing, and AEW didn't gain much.
Yeah.
So I
Uh,
don't see it happening.
I don't know. I think there could be fun stuff, some fun stuff down the road with
I
that.
still think it could be fun too for
Yeah.
people who don't have access to it or whatever. So
It'd be interesting to see what happens when Kenny comes back. Is Kenny a club member? Is he pushed out of the elite? Is the elite a thing? Is the club a thing? Where does Adam Cole fall in this? Like, there's a lot of different factions that can come out of this.
It's time to wrap up the Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm so sick of
Yeah.
the Bullet Club.
It's very much time to get rid of that. I know.
Well, we never really had the Bullet Club in America like that.
We did in ROH.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. You're probably right. I really
Yeah.
wasn't a big ROH guy at the time.
It's
It's
time.
it's
It would be
overdue. How
like-
many years now?
But it's not some. I mean, but if you can make different factions out of it, where you're said like, oh, former leader Cole,
Yeah.
former leader.
I mean,
it would
Jay
be
White,
it would
former
be
leader
like it would be like if you were
Kenny.
Kenny.
it would be like if when you had the Undisputed Era, like what if the Undisputed Era was the NWO? No, the
Former
NWO is
leader
come
Finn
and gone.
Balor.
Yeah, it's
Or-
Plus the NWO were all like almost 7 foot tall guys, and
yeah.
and yeah, they were all fucking monsters.
And the Bullet Club were all American guys that were in Japan.
Yeah.
So,
and anytime you take a
non-Japanese
stable and you're
guy.
breaking into 2 stables, it's like,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
You're diluting it.
I'm ready for the Bullet Club to go away.
Yeah.
And I think most people are. As soon as Los Ingobernables kind of leaped over them as the cool faction.
Who's
Yeah.
the dude now in the club? The black dude.
Oh, and Impact?
back
Yeah.
up Fale.
Chris Bay.
Oh,
Chris Bay. He's
I
good.
forgot about that.
I like
Chris
Chris Bay a lot. He's really good. I'm a fan. I like him. I think him and
I forgot that he was.
Strickland would make some really
but
good fucking
it's-
matches.
He's only in Bullet Club Impact.
Yeah. There's certain people that are only
Oh,
part of
really?
the
Yeah.
Impact version. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Chris Bay doesn't work Japan.
Hold on, I'm trying to get my mouse here going. John in the chat, thank you for hanging out with us, brother. He says, "What's up, guys? Just watched Impact Wrestling. Can't wait to see you guys on my birthday in March at PPW, the big 4-0, baby. AEW Revolution is going to be great." Well, listen, man, we're really excited for your birthday as well.
Is your birthday on the day of PPW?
He's saying it's his birthday that day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Pay per view will be good.
yeah, be a good time. We look forward to seeing you too, man. Thanks for hanging out in the chat and chat with us. If you have anything to say about the shows or everything we talk about, chime in.
Speaking of Jay White and Impact Wrestling, they have another one of those Impact Plus specials coming up. Sacrifice.
Oh, that's an old paper.
Yeah, because the infamous Steiner map promo,
Yeah.
it spells disaster for you. It's sacrifice.
Yeah.
But a lot of the specials they do use old pay-per-view names like Turning Point, No Surrender.
Hardcore Justice. Remember that?
Yeah.
Genesis.
I think the one they did.
Destination X.
I think the one they did in Hazleton was Turning Point.
Was it?
Turning point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Some of the names were cool.
Dusty came up with a lot of them because they started doing monthly pay-per-view when Dusty was the booker. So Dusty came up with a lot of the WCW pay-per-view names and the TNA pay-per-view names.
Yeah.
Oh.
And but yeah, so the big match they announced is Jay White against Alex Shelley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
John says in chat, I can't believe Eddie Edwards turned on Impact.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He turned on Teen Impact and went with ROH.
Honor no,
Oh.
not
Honor-
ROH.
Honor no more.
Honor no more.
Yeah.
ROH is the whole thing's ROH doesn't condone what they're doing either.
Oh,
They're like these ROH guys who broke off when ROH
They're
went on
honorless.
hiatus, and they're
Oh.
invading Impact.
dare
now.
they?
Yeah, and it's Canellis and
Oh, Matt
Mike
Taven.
PCO.
Mike Bennett, PCO.
Well, Maria Canellis is like the
Yeah,
main the stand.
she's their
Yeah,
mouthpiece,
she's the
yeah.
mouthpiece. Bennett, PCO.
Oh, what's that one guy's name? Vinny Marsegli, I think.
Oh, Marcel.
Vincent.
Yeah,
Vincent.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The guy with the crazy
He was in the
dreads.
Kingdom with
Yeah.
Taven and
Matt Taven. Yeah, Matt Taven. They usually are the OGK still. Matt Taven and Mike
And Matt
Bennett.
Taven and Mike Bennett tag up on NWA. I forgot their team name is. So.
They do it on Impact too.
Are they the OGK there? That's what they were in.
I
Ring of
think,
Honor.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is it just them two?
All right, we're getting a little long on time. Anything else news wise?
No, I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I think that was
The
all
last thing I want to touch on
coming
before we
and
go.
going.
I know we talked. I want just one thing that really caught my eye this week in wrestling, besides the amazing Daniel Bryan match with fucking
Oh God.
with Daniel Garcia. Holy fucking
clinic.
shit!
I zoned out.
Really,
Yeah.
it
Did
was
you really?
so good.
I just can't. get
It's
into
all. It's
Daniel
all. What is
Garcia.
your flavor of wrestling? And that is
I
definitely
thought you were
my
a big
flavor of
Bryan
wrestling.
fan.
I am, but Garcia.
I
got,
thought
like,
it was
just
good.
Zoned out.
I thought the
And I
whole
was like,
show
this is
this
the main
week was
event?
good. So
Really,
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
and the MJF promo we didn't.
That's
go
what I
over
want to
that.
say. The
Yeah.
MJF promo. Holy fuck, man!
Oh, I love that.
Did
man.
that kid just show another layer of his onion?
He did.
Yeah, it was. But I was like, where are you going with this? Like, is he gonna be
I would-
babyface?
I-
Like,
I
that's
hear-
why I don't.
no,
I
no,
don't
no, I don't
understand.
think so.
Someday
I think
he
it-
will be.
it's some-
and
yeah.
it's planting those seeds.
You think?
Someday, well, at some point, he will be a
I
baby.
mean, does he
Does-
come out
does
next week
he-
and be like, I lied?
Does he?
Yeah, I-
does
I
he
think
I'm
so.
not
slow,
actually Jewish.
does he
I-
slowly turn the crowd against CM Punk?
I was
I-
wondering.
would you want that?
I
What if
was
CM
wondering-
Punk leads into it?
It's too soon. It's too
way
soon for a double
soon to-
turn.
Yeah.
It's
way
too soon for a
that.
double turn. MJF is kind of this generation's Roddy Piper. He's the closest thing you've had to Roddy Piper since Roddy Piper, and Roddy spent most of his career in the big time as a babyface.
Mhm.
Pretty much anything after WrestleMania 2, he was a babyface.
It's just crazy to like his character was like, you'll never shut me up. I'll never shut up. I'll never shut up. I won't show weakness. I won't show weakness. He fucking cried on TV.
I wonder how much of that was really true. The roll of quarters.
Yeah, I don't
Jubilee.
know. It sounds like
I wonder.
It,
Yeah,
would be.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna,
roll
if
the
you-
quarters, that is a thing. They
Yeah.
throw
Mhm.
quarters. They
If-
throw coins and stuff.
he had to go deep to get those emotions out. You know what I mean?
And he really stands out in wrestling where there's a lot of bad actors. When you're a really good one, it
he's
stands
good.
out.
Yeah.
Like John Cena's a pretty good actor.
He showed, like I said, he showed another layer of his onion,
He
man.
did. It was excellent.
And then Punk coming out and go,
Is
is that
it
true?
real?
Is
Is it
that
true?"
real? Like,
Yeah.
because he was gonna be like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Way to put it.
He has Punk going into the match now.
I do think
Vulnerable.
it's going to be a turn. It's going to be like, oh,
There
you
has to be
believe that
something.
shit.
Yeah, but it was done
But there's
so
what, there's
well.
One more Dynamite
was.
and then 2 Rampage before.
Done
Not that Ross did
so
Rampage.
so
Yeah.
well.
So it's a great promo.
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck! Like that was impressive. It was impressive.
It was.
And the Jericho Eddie Kingston promo was
Oh,
very good,
Eddie
too.
is excellent too.
Jericho looked
I-
Yeah,
fantastic.
Jericho lost weight. Good for him.
Yeah.
Jericho got some abs again. It's just
Yeah.
not the dad bod anymore. He must have been really
Good.
working on
The heel
himself.
Jericho is in shape.
He just
Yeah.
he just cuts out on boost for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And probably
Yeah.
loses it all.
At first, I noticed in his face like 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
he's a little thinner. Now you can think, wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a guy too that people are like, oh, fat Jericho.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking stupid.
Oh, his whole outfit there. It's just such a compare and contrast between him and Eddie because Eddie looks like he's still dressing like it's 2007 still, with his jogging pants and long
I
sleeve
love it.
and his necklaces, his backward hat. Like,
What did he say during that promo that cracked me up?
oh man, he was excellent. I'm like instant-
Babyface, what's that?
Yeah, I know he
Your
said
good
something.
friend. I want the Jericho that Levesque hated.
Yes.
Your good friend Levesque hated.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah,
like that.
no, he said something like, I'm from the streets, dog. I don't know what you're talking about, or how do I forget?
No,
what-
he said some big word. I forget the word it is. He goes, I don't know that. I have
Oh,
GED.
he goes,
Oh,
yeah,
I have a GED.
I have a
That's right.
GED,
And he's,
dog. I
like,
don't know what you're
leaning
saying. yeah.
yeah, he was like leaning on the ropes. I thought that promo was excellent too, just as good as MJF.
And
Like,
one of the
I'm sorry.
best
I
best
like him.
security guards in the business was there.
Yeah.
Mike Mitchell.
Mike
they've
Mitchell.
been using him, that's like the second or third time on
And
the show.
Eric fucking got bodied by Brody King.
Oh, was he one of the guys? I didn't even notice.
He was the second guy that came down the
Wow.
ramp and just got
That
trucked.
one poor guy got like thrown and hit, and he like was in the ring, and he like was falling out of the ring. The one
yeah.
skinny guy. I was like, wow.
What do we got? Oh, we got people on YouTube too. This is crazy. I know I'm showing my age, but Gorgeous George and Killer Kowalski were my heroes. I love it. Love it, Lonesome Lenny.
Lonesome Lennon. hang in
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah. What else we got? Thunder Rosa versus Dr. Britt Baker is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree, but
yeah.
Absolutely.
I think your match of the night is going to be Moxley and Daniel.
There's a
Danielson.
couple.
Yeah.
match
It's a hot
contenders,
card.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is gonna
Real
be
hot
good.
card.
Like I don't know. I don't like how they booked Adam Cole coming into this, but the match itself is going to be very good.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Even Adam Page's promo was good in
Yeah.
the beginning, going after Page. Or
And
Here's the only thing. Here's the
Sorry.
only thing about this whole lead up to the tag team thing that I'm not a fan of. So you just had a battle royal
Mhm.
to crown a spot, then to have another battle royal to crown the other.
Yeah, that's a little wacky.
Yeah.
That's kind of silly to
But
me.
the one battle royal has different rules or something.
I think the next one's going to be one of those.
Casino ones. So
Casino
they come
ones.
out in waves or whatever.
When they do that, it's usually because they're the Joker. They won as their debut.
No, Briscoes, baby.
Reach for the sky.
Yeah, Briscoes. Bring them in. You got Cody money to spend now.
You got
Cody and Brandy money.
yeah. You got
That's
Briscoes.
the one
and then-
thing. I love Brandy. Don't get me wrong, and I think she's gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful, but
She doesn't do it for me.
she just is annoying on camera.
Yeah,
Like, I just can't
she
handle
is.
it.
She's like,
She tries way too hard.
it's not just heel. It's like, just go away.
She's
Yeah.
just trying way too
Yeah,
hard.
I mean, she is hot, but then how do I get yourself?
She's
Briscoes,
pretty.
Briscoes and the Hardys showing up as tag team soon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Be awesome.
It's gonna be a fucking fun tag
Look,
division
if they
again.
could get the second tag belts, the secondary tag belts. There's so many teams.
Like the U.S. Tag Team
Yeah,
titles.
they could bring back the U.S. tag team
Yeah.
titles because there's so many people.
Yeah, it's gonna be
But
fun.
what would it be?
That I
The,
wouldn't mind. Then maybe I'd watch Dark or Elevation a little bit more if they brought back like one of their like solely that title for that show. Do you know what I mean?
Speaking of Dark, that one time, the one TV title should be back on Dark. The TBS.
The TBS.
oh, I was like, well, I
it
don't
has
know.
no business
Oh.
being on TV.
Oh, 'cause Jade.
That was
Jade
real.
needs
That was
some
that
work.
was the
I will say this.
lackluster of the
I will
show
say
last
this.
night.
You know who really impressed me in that match?
Bunny.
The fucking
Yeah.
bunny.
Hey,
She looked like when she hit that one, was like, is she gonna win? And
She
like, oh,
she's a workhorse.
I don't know about workhorse,
Dude,
but
I thought she looked-
She did very good.
I
looked
thought
good.
between
And-
between the fucking hardcore match, so I thought they just ran from spot to spot
Yeah.
to spot to spot. Then her working Jade,
Mhm.
she was clearly light years ahead of Jade.
oh, well, yeah,
yeah.
Like she looked like a mega star.
And she has a good act to her, being like kind of the crazy bunny girl, like the crazy
And that-
demonic bunny, whatever you want to say.
And that hardcore match for four girls that are all about the same level, which is not very high. I thought it was good for where
It
they
was
were
good
all
for what it was. It just for me, it didn't scratch the itch that everyone like saying it was the best fucking thing they ever
at.
saw.
No.
Wasn't that for me? And this
No.
isn't a knock on Jade, like saying, but I just like I said before, I think it may be too soon for that title for her.
Yep.
Because it's already at the point where it's like, all right, what are we?
But she's not losing anytime soon if they're putting over her record every time she
Yeah,
wrestles.
Oh,
she
yeah.
said, "Who's next?" Everyone
To-
just booed.
Tony Khan is a Goldberg fan.
And he's a free
Which
agent.
is
Well,
weird.
she's the like
Ugh.
woman version of
Oh,
Goldberg.
he is a free agent.
He's a free
That's
agent.
where the
Oh,
Cody
God, no.
money's going. It's going to
No,
Goldberg.
please no, please.
AEW, you want me to stop watching? You'll get me to
Yeah.
stop watching.
It's funny, like he's a fan of so many good things, and then Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And her in her Riddler costume. Whatever it's I know it's
money.
supposed to be money, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Here's my thing too. You ran through everybody, and Bunny almost beat you.
Yeah.
Is it, are they slow? Are
And
they
she gets
slowly
a-
show, like she's not squashing people anymore?
And why did she
she's
get a
slowly
tag
showing
match?
she's more human?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like
Well, but I know that's also probably them trying to get her more experience in
Yeah, which is
hardcore
good.
matches.
yeah,
Which I
because
don't- I don't-
you can't have her get squashed because she needs to get in ring rep time.
yeah, because
And
you don't
they don't
learn from
have-
a squash.
And they don't have house shows, which
Yeah.
is
She
that's
literally
one of the
took an
downsides
elbow
of
to
that.
the face, then hit the ground and got elbowed in the back of the head while she was sitting on the apron. Hit the apron and held her elbow and stomach.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's
Yeah,
not where you got hit.
And not house show. It's good for the wrestlers. It keeps their bodies little. It gives them free time. Keeps
Yeah.
their bodies a little healthier. But
Yeah, I think she
If-
still has the look and potential to be
if-
fucking
Oh,
the next
yeah.
China.
if
but
this was 30 years ago, she would be wrestling people like Ruby Soho 5 nights a week, and she'd be getting a lot better, a lot
Better.
Yeah.
quicker.
all right, Sputnik.
do.
Sputnik, which was an insult. We'll get into that. Sputnik Monroe. This is going to be our last show of February, last show of Black History Month, and it's so weird. They were doing a Black History topic, and it's a white guy.
Yeah.
But
But some of those are unsung
It's-
heroes. And
We're
they need
canceled.
to be spotlighted too.
it's historically significant, I'll say, and this is going to be one where pro wrestling is going to intertwine with history and American history. And Sputnik Monroe was born Roscoe Monroe. What a great name,
Yeah,
Roscoe.
you didn't have to change it. Roscoe Monroe.
Well, it was
Name of my first dog.
I was
Ross.
just gonna
Really?
say it sounds like a dog's name.
But it's a wrestling name. The Rose one.
Roscoe Monroe Merrick was his name.
That's a
Uh,
working name.
Merrick.
Born December 18th, 1928 in Dodge City, Kansas, which is, you don't even need a kayfabe hometown.
No, Dodge
Roscoe
City's.
from Dodge City.
This guy
Yeah.
was born for wrestling.
Yeah.
A good look too. Oh, she debuted.
Oh, I was gonna mention her and her
Yeah,
pin.
sorry, Nikki.
Valentina, what's her name?
Nikki Valentina debuted.
No,
Her
Val-
strikes
no,
look
it's like
fantastic.
Valentina
Yeah.
Perez or something.
Yeah, yeah. she
Although
has a
the
different
outfit,
name.
I don't
Oh.
care for.
Yeah, the outfit's not the most flattering.
She's
No.
thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. That girl right there. She's
I mean,
crazy.
it's nice that she's thick, but that outfit did not help her at
Full
all.
body suits sometimes on the bigger girls.
And they're like the pleather, like
Don't
the
look
plasticky
pleasing.
leather looking ones. No,
Actually,
stay away from that.
fucking roast before we get them Sputnik. The fucking Saudi show. We'll call it the Saudi show. The Elimination Chamber.
All I seen was poor Madcap getting knocked on his head.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Madcap Moss.
that was bad.
And when Bobby Lashley actually legit got hurt, I
He,
Well,
think.
he was hurt coming in.
He
Oh,
got
okay.
hurt in the
coming
Rumble.
in. Yeah. The women, instead of wearing those like t-shirts that look like they were competing on a game
Oh,
show,
Them horrible T-shirts.
yeah, their gear. Oh, I just a little little fart there. Their gear, it just came out. Their gear, their gear, looked like something they would wear. Like it didn't look like it was forced.
Yeah.
And I really thought Dewdrop looked good. I thought her hair looked good, her makeup looked good, and her bodysuit looked complimentary to her
Oh, that's-
style.
I
And
didn't
Liv
s- I
Morgan
didn't
looked
see
like
her.
Britney Spears. She did.
Toxic
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
The fun thing with Liv Morgan did have the Britney Spears thing, and
Down to the makeup, baby.
Alexa Bliss had a swing in her pod in the Elimination Chamber. Which
Yeah.
was fun.
That's the only thing I want to bring up
And
there.
Rhea Ripley looked great.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley looked amazing with the
The
all
women,
black.
the women's chamber stole the show, hands down. Best match of this card.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah.
Just. And I'm kind of aping things I heard Jim Cornette talk about earlier, but yeah,
Good old Courtney.
Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair just came off as such stars. So did
Yeah.
Lita. Lita was so over.
Oh my god, Bianca and Rhea had Liv and Alexa installing suplexes,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
Alexa's skirt kept falling over
Yeah,
Rhea's face.
yeah.
So she kept looking at Bianca and lifting the skirt and going, boo, boo.
That's cool.
Like just having fun. Like
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley is
she's a megastar.
she's starting to put it together even more than she was.
Her
before.
charisma. She's starting to figure out where
Yeah.
she's getting comfortable. She knows how to.
Which is great.
How to
but
play into a crowd.
They have to book her right.
Yeah.
It's like you can be so good, and then
Dude,
they
we talked about it. We talked about it during our live
I
show.
thought she was good.
Like it looked like for a while, like man, Liv's gonna be the next thing. They're gonna push Liv. They're gonna push Liv. Man, with that women's division, you got 3 big names coming back with Bailey, Asuka, and possibly Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
And now Alexa Bliss is starting to get booked like Alexa Bliss again. I think Liv's gonna fall back. She's gonna fall back
Yeah,
to that.
It's a crowded place.
Apparently, the finish for the women's chamber was supposed to be a double pin, but Bianca got the shoulder up at the last second. But they wanted to put her over stronger than that, so they were going to do that to protect Alexa Bliss, but they decided against it at the last minute.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Alexa Bliss will be
Alexa
she'll be
Bliss
fine.
still looks strong.
she'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But remember there was a time where you couldn't keep the title off her.
Yes.
She was like what, 8-time champion, like a
Well,
4-time year
yeah.
4 year span.
And I can
They
remember
bounce
her
back and forth.
being
Yeah.
in NXT and not exactly when she first came out, like as the bubble fairy or
Oh,
something
yeah.
with the blue
She's
tutu.
like a
Yeah.
blue
That's
cheerleader.
where
Yeah.
Liv should go. Liv should go back to NXT
Yeah, that
and
would help her
challenge
out.
Mandy Rose.
She
Yeah.
should go to NXT and stay there for a while.
Yeah. I think she would, like, because Mandy Rose is
And
there and she
what's
looks like a mega star down there.
And what's her faction called? The toxic
Toxic
something.
attraction.
Toxic
Yeah.
attraction.
I think
Term, Priscilla
maybe
Kelly
put some
and-
people with Liv and go down there and maybe make a little stable with Liv. And
Or they could put Liv can find new girls there down there.
exactly. Yeah. I think Liv would benefit tremendously with the big names coming back on the roster to go back down
But
to
she needs
NXT.
some what's Liv's finisher?
Look at
I have
Dolph
no
right
idea,
now.
but,
Dolph
like,
Ziggler may have a whole new breath of life in his career going back to
Yeah,
NXT.
slow
I-
down.
I would.
Slow down.
There's a lot of good
Yeah.
people he can go down there and work with and
Name
help and
5.
train.
Name 5.
Anyone on that roster, I'd watch wrestle Dolph Ziggler. I think he's that good.
Dolph was good when
Dolph
I
is
watched.
good, but
yeah.
Dolph has been stale for
Yeah,
10 years.
Dolph-
He's been stale because he doesn't seem to care.
Dolph,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing with Dolph has never been a matter of his talent. He's always had the talent.
Yeah.
It's been his
he's
push,
still
and then
he's still acting like that 80s rock star hairband, whatever to him. That's
Like
the
he's,
problem.
I just feel his character's so played out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I don't care.
That's why I
what
said
he does.
maybe go to NXT and give him some new legs.
And they ruined him a lot with the start and stop pushes.
I agreed.
Start and
it's
stop, start and stop.
I hate to say it because if you believe what Dax from FTR was just saying, this is the only guy from the clique that isn't a dickhead. But Dolph has X-Pac heat.
Oh, really?
It's just I want him to go away. Like
For you?
no, yeah,
Oh.
no. I think with the crowd, like I'll
Yeah,
watch.
yeah.
He's a fine. I'll watch him wrestle. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He can go to any company
he's
to
a
be a
good
world
talker.
champion. He
But
just
Except WWE.
He just
Except
comes
for me.
out and it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
It's just like yeah, Dolph Ziggler. We're gonna see the same good Dolph Ziggler match we've seen for 20 years.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that's why I said hopefully maybe this
Like, I have
NXT
that
young
with-
crowd, maybe something
maybe.
happens. I mean, I just have hope for Dolph Ziggler. But
I
all
had
right.
that with Randy Orton. I'm like, oh, Randy Orton again.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah.
It's just certain people. If you've been on my TV for 20 years, kind of being the same guy, I've had enough of you.
Yeah. And they're not Jericho that come in and reinvent.
Well, you know
themselves
who
every
has
time.
been on
Jericho's gone away
TV for your TV for 20 years? Sputnik Monroe.
Monroe.
we go.
Monroe.
Sputnik Monroe. Roscoe Monroe, Merrick from Dodge City, Kansas. And he was billed from Dodge City, Kansas.
Oh,
So he
good,
didn't.
good.
He changed his name, but he didn't change the home.
Keep that stored away.
Yeah.
case- You know, sometimes somehow we do these topics and then forget where they're billed from.
Oh, it's like
And
That's
then
certain
we
trivia
still
nights.
I thought you
win.
meant remember our
And then
hometown.
That's
we
right, and
Still win.
Brian and Andy still pull out the win.
Yeah, you guys fucking kill it.
So Roscoe, at this point, he's not Sputnik. He's still Roscoe. His father died a month before he was born. His
Oh.
father died in a plane crash. And he was raised by his mother and his grandparents, and later his stepfather. And his stepfather's name, if we aren't pro wrestling enough, his stepfather's name, baby,
Oh boy,
is Virgil.
very bad.
It's a great start.
Not that Virgil, not Virgil Runnels. And he then took his stepfather's last name, which was Brumball, so he became Roscoe Monroe Brumball. Brumball,
as
not a
cool.
great pro wrestling name.
No.
No.
Roscoe Monroe, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Virgil Brumball are also very hard to say.
Yes.
Virgil Brumball, say that 10 times
It
fast.
doesn't flow.
No.
He owned a bakery, and this is 1928, and Kansas, I don't know how it was in Kansas, but a lot of the South. 1928 segregation is still a big thing.
Mhm.
Jim Crow is still a big thing, separate but equal, but it wasn't really equal.
No.
Is kind of the law of the land in a lot of places. But Virgil in his bakery employed black workers and white workers. He had an integrated workforce, and Roscoe's nanny was a black woman. So he was around. He grew up in an environment where integration was just normal.
Yeah.
And then he joins the Navy at the age of 17. He was briefly stationed in Japan, working there post World War II. And when he left the Navy, he's one of the guys that got into wrestling through the carnivals. And that was a big thing. Like the carnivals would have the strong man. It's funny. I watched that movie Nightmare Alley, the remake that they just did with Bradley Cooper,
Oh.
where
I don't know that.
he
I'm
plays
gonna
like
have to
this
write that one
mentalist.
down.
It's a Guillermo del Toro movie. It's pretty good.
Oh, it's a Guillermo movie too.
Yeah. It's on HBO Max. I think it might be on Hulu as well now. But the first third of the movie is in a circus. Like this guy is leaving where he lived and he's joining a circus. And he learns mentalism. He learns all these things. But you have the strong man. And if you fight the strong man and you last 5 minutes, we'll give you $50. And
There's a guy. Sorry to cut you off. There's a guy on TikTok right now
Mhm.
that's a mentalist, and he has the entire spiritual, psychic, medium community convinced he's a real psychic. He's like, no, I'm showing you how you're doing what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Oh wow.
He went into a huge group. He went into a Zoom meeting with a bunch of like real psychic mediums,
right.
and they're like, "You're gifted. You just don't know it." He goes, "I'm not gifted. I'm a carny."
That's terrible.
This is the exact trick I'm using.
Yeah.
He pretty much is what he's doing.
Hello. Keep in mind who's sitting next to you. I
You should
love you
look-
guys, but come on.
You should look him up. He's really entertaining.
This is actually something somebody did on Penn and Teller Bullshit, that old show on Showtime.
Yeah.
They had a guy who was doing the John Edward thing, and he was he did it for this whole like group of people, like a bookstore or something, and he was like, here's how I did what I just did.
Yeah.
But anyway, nothing to do with Virgil or Roscoe. And so after he joins the Navy, he's doing this carnival thing where he wasn't really like a tough guy. Like back in the day, would have the people from the carnivals who were legit like you say the word now and people laugh, hookers.
Yeah.
But a hooker is somebody who could hook you in a hold. Or like shooter is more commonly what they'll say now. Like it's somebody who
these will fuck you up.
somebody who can hold their own if it gets real.
Yeah. Trotsky.
Yes.
That's why I never fuck with him. He'll just hook you and you're done. It's like,
If
Yeah.
I wanted to hook you,
Yeah.
I'd
Chris,
hook
if I
ya.
wanted to hook you, you'd be hooked. Jerry Briscoe, same thing. But yeah, so and yeah, back in the day, you would have people, they would call him the policeman, because if somebody got out of line, you put him in the ring with him,
Mhm.
and they'll make sure everything goes right. Rick Steiner was when Dusty and Ric Flair were at their tensions were at a fever pitch, and it was like one of these people is going to wind up leaving. Dusty wanted Rick Steiner to beat Ric Flair at Starrcade for the world title in 1987,
Yeah.
88,
Somewhere
no,
around there.
88, because Rick Steiner was a guy, he was going to win that title whether you wanted him to win it or not.
yeah.
Like if you're going to cooperate, or he will make you. But yeah. So anyway, but that wasn't Sputnik. But he could hold his own, and he was willing to get in there with anybody. They would fight with axe handles. He would fight with sticks and shovels, and he got in the wrestling that way. But he eventually gets into more traditional, territorial wrestling at the point. This is the 1950s, and it's the heyday of like Luthez, and Buddy Rogers is on the come up here. And this is where Sputnik comes in, but he's not Sputnik yet, because Sputnik isn't a thing yet. And he was Pretty Boy Monroe. He was Rocky Monroe, Rock Monroe. I guess Roscoe, they just turned him to Rock.
Yeah, but why couldn't it just be like Rock and Roscoe?
Rock and
Yeah, that
well,
would've been
rock
good.
and roll wasn't even a big thing yet. It was
True,
starting
yeah.
to get there, but this is the 1950s. So
Could you imagine if you went back in a time machine? You'd fucking hate everything.
Yeah, well, see, but the 50s music isn't bad. Like, I don't hate that like I hate today's music.
Yeah.
Really?
Sidebar,
So
yeah.
you could sit there and listen to like "Build Me Up, Buttercup" and be okay with
Build Me
that.
Up Buttercup is a
Yeah.
great song.
Yeah,
God,
it doesn't
fun.
have that annoying that jump. Oh, I fucking hate this trumpet. That hi hat. Oh,
The high, the cymbals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Brian's
that.
a big Motown guy. He
Oh,
likes
I
that.
love
I can
old
believe
R-
that from you.
I
From him? No.
Yeah, no, I old R&B is some of my favorite music, like Motown and classic soul.
I'm
Some of
with
my
you. I'm
favorite
with you
music.
on that.
But
I think I'm burnt out on it so much because I went to so many car shows as a kid and
That's
as
all
a
they
teenager,
played?
and that's all they
I
played.
do like when they
baby.
play that in antique places. I think it's very fitting.
Yeah, that's fitting.
that's more like the 70s, like the Temptations, the Four Tops.
No, but like when they play like the oldies. Or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like the 40s.
Well, it's like I like the 40s and the 20s, like holiday music, Christmas time music. So.
All right, side tangent. Let's go back. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
I started that whole role. I started that train, and
Sorry,
So
we derailed you, Brian. Go keep going.
So Rock Monroe is normally a heel. He Sputnik spent most of his career as a heel until he kind of became babyface later. And he'd always have like these outlandish stories about what he did, like wrestler tall tales.
Mhm.
He said there was this one time he had an opponent in a submission hold, and he was threatening to break his arm, and then a sheriff said he was going to shoot him if he didn't let go. And he told the sheriff, like, I'll let go if he submits or if he starves to death. And
say you love crepes, or I'll break your arm.
right.
Yeah.
And so the sheriff counted like 1, 2, and when he counted to 3, Sputnik or Rocky Monroe dropped the hold. And another trademark he said, if you look at the thumbnail, the new thumbnails we're doing, Sputnik had dark hair, so he had a shock of bleached blonde hair right in the front.
Who would do that?
You're taking off.
Yeah.
You didn't even know you were the heir to the Sputnik Monroe
Yeah.
legacy.
You're killing the game, Randy. You're ahead of your well, no.
But
you're not ahead of time.
here's why Sputnik said he did this, because he said he was in a wild fight and he got hit with a wooden chair and his head got busted open and splinters got in there and his hair fell out. And when it grew back like that. He went to his grave saying he didn't bleach his hair. It just
Awesome.
he got injured with a chair shot.
I love this guy.
And
Does it make sense?
it grew back in that spot. It grew
Andy, that's
back.
gonna be your news
Yeah.
story now. You got hit in the side of the head.
Dude, this guy is my hero.
And we haven't gotten to the really good things he's done.
I know.
And so even the name Sputnik has a story behind it. Sputnik is the Russian satellite.
Mhm.
It was the first satellite to orbit the Earth.
Wasn't Sputnik also used as like kind of like a greaser dirtball kid in like the 60s and 70s? Like you're a
Like a slur.
Sputnik. Like wasn't that like
Well,
a slur?
That's kind of how he gets his name. He was driving to a show. He was driving from Washington State. He must have been working for like Don Owen or something like that. He's driving from Washington State to Alabama. That's
Ooh.
a hell of a drive. And he was getting tired. It's a long drive. And he picks up a hitchhiker on the way. Picks up a black hitchhiker. And he tells this hitchhiker, I'm happy to give you a ride. And I'm tired. Can you drive to the arena? Here's the map.
Wow.
I'm going to take a nap in the back. Can you please drive me to the arena? And he said, yes. Thank you for picking me up. And he drives to the arena with a black man. And he gets this is a white guy in Alabama in the 1950s,
Not
getting
good.
out of a car, who's already a heel wrestler with a black man.
Yep.
And the white fans were livid. And Pretty Boy Monroe, Rocky Monroe, I think it was Rocky Monroe at this point. What does he do when all these people are yelling at him? He grabs the black man by the shoulder, pulls him in, and kisses him on the cheek.
Can you imagine back then?
I love-
Their heads probably
Yeah.
exploded.
I love this guy even more.
And this was right around the time that the USSR launched Sputnik. And one of the old ladies, because this is back when old ladies would be like
Yeah.
the loudest wrestling fans had, they would stab the bad guy with a hat pin. And as Jim Cornette would say, this is back when grandmas watched wrestling.
Yeah.
My great grandmother watched wrestling. She was a huge wrestling fan. And one of these old ladies yells at him, "You Sputnik!"
Yes.
She's like, that's the biggest insult she could think of, was calling him a Sputnik. And he ran with it, like, I like a Sputnik Monroe. I like that. And that became his name for the rest of his career. And he had a motto that I always heard this from, like, this is always what Gorilla Monsoon would say Jesse Venturo's motto was. But Sputnik, it was a little longer. His motto was, win if you can, lose if you must, always cheat. And if they take you out, leave tearing down the ring. But yeah, what if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat was always a Jesse Ventura thing. And so the area where Sputnik would become most famous and have his biggest run was Memphis. And this is actually where I first ever learned of Sputnik Monroe. There's this movie that came out about 10 years ago called Memphis Heat. It's an excellent movie. And it's a documentary all about the history of Memphis wrestling, and kind of starts with Sputnik Monroe. This would have been back when, like, I guess the Goulasses or the Welches were probably the promoters. The Welch family is Colonel Parker. The Fuller, the Welches, Jimmy Golden, who was Bunkhouse Buck, that's their family. And they always had a hand in Memphis, and then the Goulasses, and then eventually Jerry Jarrett and Jerry Lawler. But Sputnik's coming to Memphis. It's already a big wrestling town, and it's also a big place for segregation. And it's a big place for civil rights altogether. I mean, Martin Luther King died there. So Memphis is and Birmingham and some of those places like that are real flashpoints for the civil rights movement. And this is, like, in its own small way, how wrestling had an impact on the civil rights movement. Sputnik was a heel, and he back then you lived your character 24/7, and he would dress like what you would think like a 1970s pimp would dress like, even though it's like the late 1950s. You wear like big gaudy purple capes, a big hat. He had a diamond-studded cane, and he would go to the black clubs, because there were black clubs who were supposed to be for black people only, and white clubs that were for whites only. And he would go to the black clubs, and they're usually on Beale Street, which is the most famous street in Memphis, and maybe Elvis Presley Boulevard. But Beale Street now is where all like the trendy bars are, and it's one of the few streets in the country that has legal open container.
Oh, wow.
You can like walk around and drink your cocktail going from one bar to the next. They have big clubs there. It's more of a music thing now. And so he would strut around Beale Street, go to the black clubs, hang out with the black people that are coming to the wrestling shows. And that became his thing. And he got arrested. He got arrested for just going to a black club.
Something back then.
And
What are you doing?
I'm hanging out with black people. You can't do that.
Yeah. What do you mean?
They charged him, would actually get him for. They charged him with mopery.
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 Oh, I got tried for mopery.
They charged him with mopery, which was basically, it's just like now they would be like disorderly conduct or something. We want to charge you with something, so we're just gonna come up with something.
I got stopped in a black neighborhood once, picking up a friend for a birthday party, and the cop he asked what I was doing there, and I said I'm picking up my friend. He goes, "No, you're not," and I go, "No, I totally am," and he goes, "If I see you in this town again, I'm pulling you over and I'm taking you to jail. Like, you don't belong here. You're here for drugs." And I was like, "What?" Because I was so blown off by it.
Yeah.
He literally, this is not a joke, he literally followed me to my friend's house, seen him get in the car, and watched me leave Reading. Yeah. He followed me all the way up Reading.
Yeah.
My friend's like, "Why is a cop following you?" I'm like, "Because he doesn't believe that I'm here for you." Dead serious. Yep. Happened.
And so Sputnik is charged with mopery, and he the wheels in his head are like, okay, we have something here. And he hires a very prominent black lawyer, which if you were a black person, you usually hired a black lawyer. If you're a white person, you hired a white lawyer. He hired Russell B. Sugarman.
Oh,
another great name.
Yeah.
Who was a very prominent black lawyer in Memphis to represent him. He was fined $25. But
That's big money.
But hey, that was big money. Yeah.
But he
Probably
got
like 20, like $100 or something back then to us now.
He got so much more than that in
What
publicity.
time was this? What time was it?
Like around the late 1950s, like around probably like 1958, 1957.
$25 is a good chunk of change.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Yes, because I think like a house would cost like a couple $100. I think at
Yes.
that point. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
you got to think you're like popsicle.
$25 in
5 cents back
1950
then.
is the equivalent purchasing power of about $291.65
Yeah.
today.
Wow.
which I mean, if you're in the newspaper and you're getting all this publicity, money well spent.
Mm-hmm.
And this became what Sputnik would do, because wrestling at this point, it's Jim Crow in Memphis, and you had the arenas at that point. You would have the downstairs, like the floor seats, would be the whites only section, and then the mezzanine, they would literally call it the crow's nest. Jim Crow, the crow's nest, which would be the mezzanine, the balcony seats, and that was black only. Same ticket price, but they have to sit higher up because they're black. And that was what they would call separate but equal.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. But yeah, so what Sputnik would do, they would have a problem where because Sputnik was so popular with the black audience, he would pack the house in the crow's nest, but it would be like half full downstairs where the white people would sit. And
Because he go to their clubs and hang out with them.
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
and Sputnik would bribe the ticket takers, or be like, he would bribe them to oversell the black section, like sell it past capacity, so they would have to put them down with the white audience. And then once he got bigger and more popular and had the sway to do this, Sputnik also kind of did the Bret Hart Canada thing, where he was a babyface to half the crowd and a heel to the other half. The black audience loved him and the white audience hated him, and he played into it. And at the very height of his popularity, and this is where he becomes kind of historically significant, he broke down the barrier. He said that if you don't let anybody sit where they want to sit, I'm not wrestling for you. And the arena caved in, the promoters caved in, and they packed the house. And they made so much money, and it was such a success that other arenas started doing it. And it had a little bit of a domino effect. And he really did break down a wall of segregation.
So he was the one that started that and said, that's it. Like,
not just for wrestling, for sports
Yeah.
in general in
Wow.
Memphis. And yeah, it all started with a wrestler. And and obviously this is a hyperbole, but I was listening to the thing Jim Cornette did about him, and he said somebody told him, like, at that point, and if you were a black family in Memphis, you had three pictures. You had pictures of three people in your house. You had Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, and Sputnik Monroe. and that bleach spot in the middle of the hair, like kids, like white kids, black kids, he was popular with the kids too, like because kids were a little more, I think, cool with desegregation than their parents were for the most part. But kids in, like, they would say, like, at that time, if you had a high school yearbook from a school in Memphis, there'd be so many kids with the Sputnik Monroe white streak in there.
I love that. I love that so much.
So this all leads to them packing the Ellis Auditorium, which was the big arena there before the Mid-South Coliseum. And they would sell out almost all the time, mostly black crowds, because they would pack the place, the part they used to be in. And then that empty spot was full now too, because they would turn people away.
Wow.
And
that's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
You gotta turn people away.
Yeah.
You're so racist, you don't like money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually where racism ends.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that was the whole thing with, like, well, we don't want Sammy here, but Sammy makes good music. Like, what the, I mean, like, and then Frankie's like, well, we're not
I
playing
thought
here.
Sammy Hagar.
No, and like Frankie would be like, we're not coming if Sammy's not welcome in.
It's very much what Frank Sinatra did with the music industry, is what Sputnik Monroe did for wrestling.
Mhm.
See, now did they wrestle? Like, were African American people have to wrestle each other? Or
Yes.
There was no segregation.
Back then,
there was segregation
black
there,
wrestlers wrestled black wrestlers, white wrestlers wrestled white wrestlers, and he stopped a lot of that too.
Did he?
And it was happening other places too, but in Memphis especially, he broke down the kind of like Jackie Robinson.
I was just gonna say Jackie Robinson. I was thinking the number 4. Yeah.
So that was definitely a thing where you didn't have interracial wrestling,
Mhm.
and he was very instrumental in eliminating that too. And it all leads to August 17th, 1959, the biggest match in Memphis for decades. It was Sputnik against his arch rival Billy Wicks. And it was a stadium show. They had a ballpark there. Rocky Marciano, the former heavyweight champion of the world, was the guest referee. And they packed 18,000, somewhere between 16,000 and 18,000 people, which is a bigger audience than Jackie Fargo ever drew in Memphis, than Jerry Lawler did in his heyday with the USWA. This was bigger than all of them. It was the biggest wrestling attendance in Memphis until they opened the new building, the Pyramid. and it was beaten by a show we just talked about a few weeks ago, St. Valentine's Day
Wow.
Massacre, that had like 19,000.
We was it the same night as trivia?
Yeah, they had it on at the.
They were watching St. Valentine's Day
Oh,
Massacre
okay.
the night. You know, fun fact: Tony Depp's favorite pay-per-view.
Oh, really?
It's
One of his
how about
favorite
that?
pay-per-views. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he's a huge. I didn't realize how similar we were when it comes to like we both are super into gimmick wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
Him a little more so than me. Like his favorite's the Goon and Bastion Booger.
Bastion Booger, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was kind of the end, because after that, where do you go? That was kind of the end of Sputnik in Memphis, and he would jump around to like Florida, Texas, Georgia. You didn't stay unless you owned a piece of the action. You didn't stay in one place all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I wonder if the Sputnik Monroe T-shirts.
Probably somewhere.
Somebody probably put one on
It's
T-Pop.
probably like an old school wrestling
yeah.
shirt company that we don't know about.
I'm googling it right
But
now.
he kept doing he kept playing on the racial thing, because in the 1970s things are a little more progressive now. Like desegregation is the law now. Like you can't do whites only, or anything like that.
That shirt's fucking.
That is
awesome.
a very cool shirt.
Yeah, Sputnik.
Um,
Oh, it changed.
Oh.
But he teamed with a guy, Norville Austin, and they weren't the only act to do this, but because you like people would wrestle people of other races and things like that, but usually like if you were a black guy, your tag team partner was going to be black,
Yeah.
and like if you were a white guy, your tag team partner was probably going to be white. If you were Asian, your tag team partner is probably going to be Asian, and you're going to be evil foreign heels. But he teamed with Norville Austin, who was a black guy, and he was also one of the original Midnight Express.
Oh, wow.
And it was like and they would get heat just because it was a black guy team with a white guy.
That's something.
And Sputnik Monroe, when Norville also would wrestle, he would shout "Black is beautiful," and then Norville also would yell back, "White is wonderful."
What is
And this made them heels.
That's funny.
This
No,
made
it's
them
not.
heels.
It's like Daniel Bryan telling us to stop destroying our planet.
Yeah.
Or Chad
Boo.
Gable now. Like I have a 4. Don't boo education.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
Well,
wrestling
the
fans.
AEW fans were booing some stuff during
Yeah.
MJS promo.
Yeah, like I did say. Yeah, at the very beginning, like, did they just boo Jews?
Yeah.
Really?
They
They
totally
just booed
did.
you, boy. It's like, oh god.
No, just him saying he was like Jewish. Like,
Yeah.
did they just boo it. Just him being
He's
Jewish.
like, I'm a Jewish kid. And they're like,
Boo.
boo. We're like,
It's like, oh man.
it's like, no, we're not booing him. We're not booing that. We don't like MJF. We're trying to play into the card.
And Norville Austin really did play them. He did the tip thing too, where he bleached a little bit of the front of his hair, and he said he was Sputnik's son.
I bet he was on all them black clubs, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh my God. This guy was so ahead of his
I
time.
know.
yeah,
That's something.
yeah. And so he kind of wound down by the mid 70s. He did a few things here and there. I always look on Cage Match when I'm like, it's people that are a little before my time, and like see what their last match might have been. And his last match was in Memphis at kind of the tail end of the peak of, it was before they were still CWA, they weren't USWA yet, but he wrestled in like 1988. He wrestled his
Wow.
old one match against his old rival Billy Wicks, who probably was pretty old too. And they did one match in like the late 80s.
Wow.
And
Hey, that's something.
That was his
What
last
age
match.
was he then? I wonder.
He probably in his late 50s.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he would have been like probably younger than like Ricky Morton is now.
Yeah.
He's
thing.
he's buried in Pineville Rapids Parish, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Louisiana. His son wrestled a little bit, Quentin Bell. He was Bubba Monroe. Never really had the push that his dad did. He did a few like TV job things.
Yeah, probably just didn't have it. A lot
Yeah.
that happens to a lot of wrestlers' sons.
And then they did bring him back every now and then for like Memphis. They would just have him out to like be like, hey, it's Sputnik Monroe. And they did the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 1994. He has an exhibit in the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum.
Wow.
It's just a music museum, but there's a thing
Wow.
on Sputnik Monroe. And he was honored by the Cauliflower Alley Club in 2000. He did pass away November 3rd, 2006. He was 77. There they go, Sputnik Monroe and Norville Austin. You want to show show the camera?
And his hair's dyed. His hair's dyed.
show the camera.
Yeah, I'm going to.
But he did pass away November 3rd, 2006, at the age of 77. So yeah, if he was wrestling 20 years before, he was probably like 57,
Yeah.
Yeah.
58. And he was also inducted into the Wichita Falls, Texas version of the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, which is
Oh.
one of the physical ones.
Yeah.
And it used to be in Schenectady. Now it's in Texas. He was inducted in that in 2017.
I want to put in perspective real quick. everything we talked about, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, man, that was so long ago. Like, man, how we treated people of color.
Mhm.
He died in 2006.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just put that in perspective.
It's how much he's actually seen over his life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Totally.
we were shitty to people of color not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
We're shitting to people of color now.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I think people try to put such a huge time frame on it that it wasn't like it was. Oh, well, that was so long ago.
But let's also
No,
put this
no,
in
it wasn't.
perspective too.
No,
Yeah,
the
we're shitty to
50s, the
people.
60s,
We're shitty to people of color, but we're just shitty to people in general. If we don't like
But we're
you,
worse. People are worse to people of color.
it's just,
Yeah.
we're just terrible human beings at points to some most people.
This dude died in
Other people.
2006.
And then in 2018, when they have that legacy wing they do for the WWE Hall of
Where
Fame.
It's like they just put a thing on the website.
They put like they do like a little 5-minute clip and it's like 6 guys. He was inducted into the legacy wing of the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018. Yeah, such an interesting story for a guy who, unless you're really deep in the wrestling, you probably haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
You know what's
Or unless you go
hilarious
from
about him
Memphis.
too that
Probably
I
in the
love?
60s, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
If this face, like this mug of a human being, like just like walked into an all black bar,
Yeah,
they're like,
what the
he's
hell?
here to murder us all. Like he just doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like he
I
doesn't.
was thinking that. I'm thinking, what was their reaction when he walked in? Was it
he
like
does not
get
fit the
out?
bill of like an
Or
ally.
Was it? Oh,
like
yeah,
you know what
come
I
in.
mean?
Well, he probably went with a group. I'm gonna guess he probably went with a group of people that he met at the matches, and then they're like, "Hey, let's go to the club." Sputnik, yeah, let's go to the club.
Yeah, and then you just
Like
kinda
if
slowly
you
won 'em
showed
over.
that mugshot, it'd be like he murdered.
He looks like a stooge. He
Yeah,
looks like he could
like,
be one of the 3 stooges.
he murdered 80 black people. Like I believe it.
He looks scary.
Yeah,
I think he looks scary.
like, like I'm not
Not
saying he
gonna
looks
lie.
racist.
There's a
scary.
picture like that. He's a little messed up and says, "I can lick any cowboy." Apparently, some cowboy sucker punched him, and Jim Cornette says that he only hit Sputnik Monroe because he slipped on cow shit. That's why the guy was.
Oh,
able
where
to
his
sucker
eyes all
punch him.
bandaged up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was some cowboy. I guess it was a rodeo or something. He was
So those clubs, were they like blues clubs, you think, that are on Beale Street?
Probably blues clubs or
That-
jazz clubs.
or
yeah.
just
Yeah.
like a black bar, and yeah, there it is.
So he got Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
He got
Yeah.
Shawn.
Oh, wow. That's a miserable face.
because back then, like, just you couldn't go in a white bar if you were a black guy. So I mean, they had a black bar. It wasn't
Right.
musical theme. It was just
Yeah.
it's a bar. For
But a
black
lot of
people.
them in Memphis, and 'cause
Yeah.
that was a big
Yeah,
blues
yeah.
circuit.
Yeah, Memphis, you had like the Hal Green's from Tennessee, so you had like that type.
I wonder
Sam-
if he got shit walking into like I'm not saying that like all, but like just for example, if like a black dude walks into a certain bar, school, county, like they all turn their head.
Yeah,
Like, and sure, the same thing happens if you're a white dude and you walk into like an all Spanish club,
yeah.
but it doesn't take very long for everyone to be like, oh, he's cool as fuck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
And-
because
and the thing
people will
you're-
come talk to you.
And the thing you're missing is he was a celebrity.
Yeah.
He was famous. Like he was wrestling was a big deal in Memphis. And he was he was the most famous wrestler in Memphis at the time. It'd be like if Jerry Lawler walked into a club. Like Jerry Lawler was a celebrity in Memphis.
Did he ever cross paths with Jerry?
Jerry came by a little later. Maybe when he came back for one of those little guest things, but
Yeah, I don't think they ever wrestled.
But
Possibly.
after Sputnik, Jackie Fargo would have been your big star in Memphis for a while.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Lawler, because Sputnik was out of Memphis by like the early 70s.
Who's Sputnik Monroe Jr.? Is that his actual kid, or is that
It might be Bubba Monroe. Yeah, it might
Yeah.
have also done Sputnik too.
because there was Danny Davis and Sputnik Monroe Jr. and Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee.
Could have just been somebody that they said you're going to be Sputnik Monroe Jr.
Yeah, 'cause
that'll get over.
They did that back then.
Yeah,
Just-
interesting.
They would just
That
pick
that
a-
is very
a
possible.
popular wrestler. You're his son.
Well, there was also the name. I'm missing the name now. He had
Why
a
should have they done that now?
I know.
he had a kayfabe brother who was something Monroe, like it's not
Oh, really?
Sparky Monroe, something with an S. But yeah, he had a fake brother. Well,
That
that was so common back then.
Yeah,
Like
they would do that.
they would always say like Ric
Uncle.
Flair and the Andersons were cousins, and
Mhm.
the Andersons weren't really related either. Like Arn and Ole Anderson are not related at all, and
There was no.
only one of them
internet.
was really named Anderson.
Yeah, no internet to actually.
I love the
research.
old. You need to take a photo like this. Your next promo photo, Andy. Can you do where like you suck your belly in,
Oh,
like,
that
puff,
like old.
but
Yeah.
puff your chest out,
Yeah.
like that.
And you got to pull your tights up really
yeah,
high.
with the
Yeah.
old wool tights.
I fucking love it. So-
Well, we'll actually be talking about one of those type of people in a future episode, very future
Ooh,
episode.
Matt Classic running the whole episode.
No,
No, I know.
I'm gonna be headed to Dallas for one of these
Ooh.
fake relative people.
Oh,
Yeah. So if you do want a Sputnik Monroe t-shirt, because I know you do, this is the logo and it is on Redbubble. So if
Oh,
you search
okay.
Sputnik Monroe t-shirts, there is someone on I mean, I don't know if they're
That is a
giving
pretty
any.
cool T-shirt.
Yeah, I don't
It
know if they're
is.
giving anything proceeds to his family.
I
or
highly doubt it.
I
But,
looked
I
it up.
highly doubt it.
Usually, Redbubble is kind of like you can make I can make a Batman shirt.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Well, here's the
obviously
thing.
Don't have to
Also,
know about it.
apparently, Sputnik Monroe's son maybe not the best guy.
Really?
Yeah.
How does your dad stand up for so much right? And
I don't know if he's like racist or
Oh.
anything, but yeah, he's had some run-ins, I think, with the law.
oh, I mean,
Man, not the boss man.
all right, as long as he's not. I don't know. I don't know what he got in trouble for. I don't want to
I
speak
don't
for him.
remember either.
But it's a great conversation piece. You walk around with a Sputnik Monroe shirt. People are like, who's that? You're like, oh, this dude. He's
Yeah.
I
badass.
think his kayfabe brother was Rocket Monroe.
Rocket, that's a cool name.
Yeah.
too.
It's like Rocket Richard. Yeah, I like it.
That's super cool. Great topic, Brian. I love that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I that was when I was thinking like, yeah, that's a good Black History thing.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
We did kind of drop the ball this whole month.
we did Too Cold.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did too cool.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we had two topics, and then we covered some local shows.
Mhm.
But
And St. Valentine's Day Massacre for some reason.
Oh, it was Valentine's Day week.
it was Valentine's Day. Andy, what do you got to plug? You want to talk about
I was gonna plug that there's a show that Johnny Moran's on. He's in the
This
main event.
Saturday?
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Feb Brutality. It's called.
Yeah, actually, a lot of
Is it Anarchy Championship Wrestling? It's 4 words.
yeah, it's supposed
hard
to be like two
remember.
companies that come together once a year and make
Oh,
a show.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said they only run like one show, but it's in Hazleton. I don't know where.
They usually run every February after.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, and then when people get money,
Makes sense.
tax
It's a good
return
time,
show. Yeah.
Oh, they also said it's a lot of time when wrestlers order gear because they just got the tax money. And
Yeah.
people are shitting on them, like, hey, they're putting money into themselves. Like,
Listen, if your dream is to become a wrestling promoter and you can only afford one show a year, live your fucking dream, man.
Yeah.
Nobody should be shitting on anybody for spending their money the way they want to.
I-
Oh, no, I
Yeah,
know it's no shit,
yeah.
but they're a promotion that you're not going to see monthly. They're
yeah,
like
Right.
yeah.
No.
yeah. I forget the
But I'm
exact
saying
name.
him and the
But
wrestling
it's-
gear and stuff.
yeah.
Like, why?
I know Johnny's in that main event. It's a 3-way.
Johnny, it's a good card. It's everyone we know for the most part. Like it's all pretty cool names. Hold on, Alex sent me a link I can pull up, but I'll be there. Alex, I think I'm going to meet Alex Watt up there. We're gonna hang out. South Philly's Finest is there. Kit Raff is there. Johnny's there. Travis Dorian's there.
It is called Anarchy Competitive Wrestling Alliance. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
And both members of the Eric and Mike will be in action. So so if you,
Mike Mitchell, yeah.
if you couldn't get enough of them at AEW this week,
Yeah.
you can actually watch them wrestle.
There you
And
go.
Yeah,
And I-
there's the match. As a matter of fact, it's Johnny and Travis Dorian, who's in incredible shape now,
yeah, it looks
and
great.
the Madness of Trip will also be in that match.
Oh yeah, he's good too. I like him. He's a good guy.
And it is Terrence Plaza, 601 South Poplar Street in Hazleton.
There you go. And if you haven't seen Mike Mitchell live, please do. He's
Yeah,
fucking
he's excellent.
he's awesome. He's so good. Like there's people who are in this area that are just good wrestlers, and then you see Mike Mitchell, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
he's a little bit ahead of his curve.
He's
Really, really talented.
he is very very much at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
No, they did have a sale for 2222. It was 2 tickets for 2222.
Love it.
That's
So-
great.
Yeah, check that out if you're in the Hazleton.
I hope it's not sold out by the time I get there. That would suck. I'm sneaking
I
in.
would say no.
I'm fucking sneaking in. Oh, Isaac's gonna be there too. Isaac Roll.
Yeah.
I didn't say him. He was on the poster, first person I seen. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Come hang out with us if you're not doing anything this
Kids
Saturday.
4 and under, free.
There you go. I'm for that day.
15 at the door.
Tony's gonna be
Mentally
four.
for that day.
And the bell time is 7 p.m.
Are you
Doors at
mentally
6:30.
for not any other day?
I mean, I'm always
You-
mentally.
You're about mentally 8 years old. I'll
Yeah.
say.
That's give me credit. Anything else you want to plug?
No, that's it. Outbreak we already talked about, so that's my next show. And then
Yeah.
PPW is the next one.
All right, Brian.
ProjectHumanoid.com. We actually do have a new Murder My Dude coming out if I remember to upload it, which I might be doing right now. And maybe why I just opened my laptop. We are covering a not a super famous case, but an interesting one, I think. It's one of those lovers triangles cases with a woman is found dead by her husband who had just come back from a bachelor party. And maybe not all is what it seems.
Yeah, she got pissed. He went to a bachelor party and murdered him.
Murdered herself.
Yeah.
Oh.
He came back to find her dead.
Oh,
He may have she may have murdered herself with a wound to the neck so deep that she was almost decapitated,
Jesus.
and then she may have also done some improper things to herself after the murder.
She was determined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. So that's at project2minute.com. You can look up Murder My Dude wherever fine podcasts.
Well, spoiler alert. Usually, most of your podcasts, there is a conclusion.
Yes.
There you go. So I do
Yeah,
like that about your show. That
Yeah. I hate.
you listen to 4 hours, somebody's like, and we have no idea.
Aw, man.
Who knows what happened?
Yeah. No. This one. Yeah. It took a while. This case was actually on Unsolved Mysteries before it was on.
Only you can help us solve this unsolved
Was it on the
mystery.
older one?
Yeah, it was on the
I
Robert
was gonna
Stack.
say.
It was on the this was solved in like 1996.
You know how many
1997.
people from our generation are fucking terrified
It
of that
was
music?
scary, yeah.
It was. And you've seen him in like this like
And he was
smoky
scary,
alley with
yeah.
his trench coat, and he was all serious.
I
It's
love
like-
I loved in the movie Basketball, and a lot of that movie didn't age well, but Trey Parker's character disappears, like nobody knows what happened to him, and they're doing a reenactment of like what could have happened, and they're like and Robert Stack, the guy who was like the guy in the trench coat in the steamy alleyway.
He's hanging by his fucking neck in a closet.
He could be hanging by his neck in his fucking closet for all I care. Scenario number 1. Coop's hanging by his neck in his fucking closet.
Yeah, he had a voice on him.
Yeah.
And then the one character's like, if you want to find him, go to the place where child exploitation happens the most. It's like scenario number 2. Coop went to Disneyland.
Yeah. Basketball, baby. Look, do you have a rundown of what to expect? Because
Yeah.
you've been killing it with that. I appreciate the hell out of that.
Oh, for
Like the show.
Yeah.
Like upcoming
I
show.
thought you meant Murder My Dude. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a rundown for both. Murder My Dude coming up. We around St. Patrick's Day, we always do like a murder dude. It's always an Irish.
Oh,
Irish
Jesus.
yeah.
Oh, me
And
Jesus.
then we may actually be doing like back-to-back weeks because I know my co-host Jackson Wells really wants to do one about the Notorious B.I.G. because it's going to be 25 years since he died.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
But yeah,
Allegedly.
for
Oh, yeah, allegedly.
for Tornado Tag next week, we're going to be talking about the Monster Factory,
Monster Factory.
and then we have, I believe we're going to have a guest the week after that, Vinny Berry from the name of I think its site is called Wrestleville. I kind of teased it earlier. He wrote a book with Lance Von Erich,
Yeah, the
who was
Von
the
Erich.
well, they were all fake Von Erich.
Well, yeah,
their real name.
but
But he was not a member of that family.
Yeah.
He was brought in. Fritz Von Erich, who was the patriarch of the Von Erich family. He was an evil Nazi heel in the 1950s. That's why Jack Atkinson became Fritz Von Erich. And sometimes he was in a tag team with his brother, not really his brother, Waldo Von Erich.
Hmm.
And because one of the Von Erichs, I believe David, had just died, and they just had Kevin and Kerry at this point. Mike wasn't really up to.
There was a ton of them that kind of died. Like,
They all
Yeah.
died but Kevin, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually. But for some reason, they only had 2 Von Erichs and needed 3 for a big feud with the Freebirds. So they said they were going to bring this guy in as a cousin, as Waldo Von Erich's son, and it was Lance Von Erich.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll definitely touch on that. And then the week after that'll be our St. Patrick's Day episode. I think it's actually on St. Patrick's Day. I think February 17th is a Thursday, or March 17th is
I
a
don't know
Thursday.
You
how
better get
much.
some-
I don't know how much of a themed it's going to be because I think that's the week we're going to have on the brand, the owners of Wrestling Over,
Oh,
Wrestling
I-
Over
okay.
Everything.
oh, we
I
could have
didn't
some
get it.
green beer. Green
I mean, I'll
beer.
drink beer,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have the creators of Wrestling Over Everything. They're a wrestling promotion company. A lot of cool.
So they are a promotion.
Wrestling company.
Oh,
Like
oh.
they make like wrestling merchandise.
don't-
Yeah,
run
a
shows.
promotion is something different.
There is
When you say
a
wrestling promotion, that is a company that
Yeah.
does
Do
wrestling.
they run
promotion.
shows?
no. I don't think they run
Oh,
shows.
okay.
I mean, they might. I don't know. I just know them for their clothing. But we're gonna learn more about them and about their company
Okay.
and how you can get their merchandise and stuff. If you want to grab it, go to Wrestling Over Everything.
And if you're dumb like I was, and you're like, what does
Yeah.
wrestling everything mean?
I was the same boat. I was also looking at it in my blondness and being like,
I mean, you
"Okay,
could wrestle
wrestling
everything in your life. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Heidi made fun of it. Like
I-
German suplex.
Yeah, I would never ever. Nothing gets these guys. That's just me. I would never get that.
Yeah, I love how
I
simple.
don't get
I love
that.
how simple
I
it
like
is.
it after he explained it. I really
yeah,
actually
it makes
love
sense.
it.
Yeah,
but
but
Yeah.
if you don't know, you don't
If
know.
you didn't know it.
Yeah, I got a hat and a t-shirt. I like it. I think this is my new go-to hat right here. It's a simple logo, man. I love it. Because how much do we always say wrestling's everything in our life? You know what I mean? Wrestling isn't everything, you know?
You wrestling really does, if you look at it kind of philosophically, it does kind of anything you need to know about the world you can learn from wrestling.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the world has become more and more like wrestling every day.
Yes.
Like somehow in the last 20 years, politics became wrestling.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
completely.
Like he loves us. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's working you. You're being worked. Fun fact, that guy's also in the Hall of Fame. Kelly.
Oh my god, how do I follow that up? I'm going to plug my husband today and
Oh.
Troop Driveline Performance. If anybody's a race car driver out there, I know sometimes wrestling and racing kind of crosses over. A lot of wrestling fans.
Yeah, there
are
was
racing
a race.
fans.
There was a race car wrestler.
It'll be our Sparky plug episode.
Our Sparky
Yeah.
plug.
So he does transmissions and like illegal transmissions. I guess I shouldn't say that, but he does some.
You're just trying to get them out of your fucking house.
I am.
You're
There's
using our
19 of them.
platform.
He will
Yes.
soup up your car
Yeah.
and make it run.
You are
really
using
good.
our
Yes.
platforms to
He
hawk your
he rebuilds carburetors, anything with the driveline system. So if you need anything rebuilt or
That's hard.
made, and yeah,
That's cool.
so he has all the fancy tools and stuff. Check him out, Troop Driveline Performance on Facebook.
She wants those
Please get them
transmissions
out of my garage.
out of her garage.
Do not bring a core with you. In other words, do not bring another transmission to swap for the transmission.
And for every transmission you bring to him and leave, we will give you a free T-shirt.
Shut that. No.
And you get a free,
No,
free
we are
tune-up
not
and
doing
oil.
that. No, people. Mm-mm.
Do you want that? What is it called? A Crowler cup or whatever it is?
Colts?
Holster.
Colster. The next thing is going to be whoever can drop off the most
No.
transmission.
Yeah.
Let's not start that. No. There's enough.
It's the next
Leave enough.
contest.
Yeah. Anything else you want to plug?
Not Cool in High School this Tuesday. We're doing toys, I believe.
Our favorite toys are things that
Toy
I guess we were into
lines,
when we were
yeah.
kids. Because some people didn't play with toys, I guess.
Real quick developing story here.
Well-
This is an odd one. Apparently, even though he hasn't been used on TV for the last 5 months, AEW recently picked up the contract option for Brian Cage.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought he was out.
No, they
Yeah.
picked up another year, I guess, on him. Yeah.
So he
Maybe they-
re-signed with them for another
No,
year?
they had an option, like basically just say it was a 2-year deal, but we have an option to pick up a third year at this
Yeah.
money. They exercised their option and they're keeping him.
Wow.
They're gonna
Wow.
fucking go home. They're gonna-
Yeah, bench him.
maybe
I'm
They're
gonna
gonna bench
show
him just
you.
like Ali or Mustafa.
I was
Ali.
gonna say Tony Khan just picks up the phone. Vince, I propose a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will trade you
Oh.
Brian Cage for Mustafa Ali. What did that
Who's
happen?
Mustafa Ali?
Deal. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, I don't want to make a deal with you, pal.
Is that
Oh
the
my God, I love
Saudi
your
Arabia
impression.
guy?
If you're sitting on a Brian Cage, who do you make a deal with? Like, who do you want from WWE?
Well, you got to figure out
That's
who could-
equal
who
or-
could you get.
Yeah.
I'll trade him for Apollo Cruz.
Yeah.
I do that.
You
Yeah,
think
I
that's
would do
equal?
that.
Brian Cage or Apollo Cruz?
I think I would win out a little bit there.
I think Apollo would do well in AEW, and I think Brian Cage would do well in
I loved
WWE.
Apollo when he first came up. When he came up from NXT, I liked him.
Mm.
One of my favorite things in NXT with him was he wrestled Baron Corbin at one of the takeovers. I think it was the first Brooklyn one. And
Yeah.
he and Baron Corbin throws Apollo Crews out of the ring. He goes, "This isn't Ring of Honor." Or no, go back to Ring of Honor.
yeah.
Apollo Crews was never in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I
Not
would trade
once.
Brian Cage for Budenhagen
Okay.
I don't think WWE
don't know.
would do that deal.
Yeah.
I
but
wouldn't if
they're
I were WWE.
or
Yeah.
Nakamura because they don't want. They really want Nakamura.
Yeah, they
Probably,
do.
probably, I don't
If
know.
they didn't want Nakamura, they would fire him.
But I think Nakamura. You can get Nakamura for Brian Cage. He's like Vince's wet dream of a
But
talent.
yeah, if they see him. The only problem Brian Cage has, he's not very tall for Vince.
Yeah. They'd be like Vince doesn't even
He-
talk
he's super
English.
jacked.
He barely talks English, and be like, "You're right, and that guy's jacked."
Then again, I would have thought if anybody was tailor made for Vince McMahon, it would have been Killer Cross.
Yeah.
And
So
look how
did,
that
so
happened.
did he.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I always. All right, what do we got here? We got Sam in the chat. I always accept Senga 3-speed transmission. Saganaw's.
There
So-
you go. The first person
No.
that gets 10 Saginaw transmissions in
No.
that garage.
No.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
No, please.
Free T-shirt if you can get him those.
No.
Kelly will play for the T-shirt.
I will not. I don't know what I can do to stop that from happening.
Yes, IWEP Network. So if you made it this far, if you're listening back or watching back, so you can always share this, take a screenshot, tell us what you think, leave a review. Listen, Tanzania, thank you.
Mhm.
8th in the world, and still
Wow.
we have
that's
not
great.
left the top, and we just moved from like 190 to back to 170 in sports.
No, cool.
So give us some love. Tell us how the hell you found us in Tanzania. But yeah, thank you guys so much. America, pick your shit up, man. Like,
Yeah.
get in this, get in the game. Follow us and listen to the audio. If you we're not gonna hold it against you if you like the video. If you
We're
we're not-
much better than the actual news right now. So
and we're way better to look at audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a joke about our looks.
Eh.
I got that whole face radio thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you share helps out. We have t-shirts if you want to grab a t-shirt. If you're local and you want to, if we see you with a Tornado Tag t-shirt at a PPW show or Outbreak, I will be fucking surprised.
Even on the street.
I'll be surprised and I will be very thankful. But
You
yeah,
will
guys,
make Tony's day.
you would 100% make my day. I'd probably come up and hug you.
And
Like if
that's
you
a
want to.
simple way to get good karma back. Make Tony happy, and you'll have good memories and good things happen.
I'll hug and kiss you. You have a t-shirt on. You're getting a hug. That's all there is to it. I would. It's super cool when people buy stuff.
He's going to invade your private space.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
to come right up on you and just like touch your body with my body and give you a big old hug and be thankful
This
because
is not the advertisement for the t-shirts that you think it is.
Yeah.
I'm just showing you that it would seriously. And then I'll probably go in the back and like pretend I'm gonna go do work and I'm gonna like hold back tears for a moment because it's really weird. I don't know how you feel if someone buys your t-shirt, but like
Happy.
fucking when people
Happy, yeah.
Yeah.
spend their hard-earned money to support you, it means a lot. I'm still not used to it yet, I
Oh.
guess. Yeah. I guess I don't hold myself as a podcaster at the same level as like a talent.
Mhm.
So when I'm like at a show and people are like, "Can you sign my PPW card?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I'll do that for you.
The card exists.
Yeah.
When someone asks you to sign it.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool to be appreciated and get that love. So thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute blast. Once again, Tornado Tag Podcast. If you, like I said, you made this far, share, like. We're over on YouTube. If you can help us out with a subscribe on YouTube and help us get some subscribes and some watch hours. If you here's a challenge. If you're on YouTube this week or Facebook this week watching, tune into the next episode on YouTube and chat on there so more people see your YouTube thing and be like, "I want to go over on YouTube." I don't know. Maybe it'll do something.
The reason why we get more on Facebook is because
It's convenient.
no one says, "Let me scroll through YouTube."
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Also, 8 years ago, the network came out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and
First
now
thing-
it's not around.
I was going to say it's not there anymore.
It's just
Is it?
it's
Peacock.
There's certain countries where they still have the WWE network, but they're trying to get rid of them. They're trying to do similar deals. Like they're on Disney Plus in Indonesia now. They're
There's still a lot of people who use VPNs and
Yeah.
use.
yeah.
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 It's a
I
lot
like
of
the
work.
network.
I like the network too.
Well, there's still a lot of stuff on the network on Peacock that's not on the network. Like, that's
Oh.
still like
Yeah, remember when they said it was all going to be on Peacock by SummerSlam?
yeah, everything was coming over by SummerSlam.
It's not.
But yeah, the
And
first
Peacock not as good as the network.
the first thing I ever watched on WWE Network was Halloween Havoc 1989. I don't know why.
And do you remember
I delve in them old WCW pay-per-views
before the
like that.
network, they had like the app or something that you could like interact with it during
WWE
commercial.
24/7.
And then
That's
for,
what it
later
was,
later
yeah.
was Classics on Demand.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Tornado Tech Podcast. We are out of here. We'll see you next time for episode 144.
Yeah, Sputniks.
Yeah, damn Sputniks.
Wrestling line, everything.
I'm not closing it. No, I'm joking. Bye.